Like the houses that they bought was.
Let's do a great show today. We need a great show.
We'll negotiate from there. 30. But yeah, we can start with trying to do a great show.
Okay. Shall we put that in the intro?
Guys, we're gonna try real hard today.
Yeah, let's try hard.
We're gonna give it a go.
You know, there's all this. Well, we haven't really tried. We could probably be good. We probably want to keep that illusion, don't we?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we don't want to think. The thing is, if you go all out, then you know where you are.
This is Penn Sunday School.
This feels good.
And to our listening ears, all angels sings and round us rings the music of the
Brothers and sisters, welcome to Penn Sunday School, starring Penn Jillette. My name is Michael Godot, and we are broadcasting from the Show Creator Studios right here in Las Vegas.
That's where I am.
This week, Penn rode in the first self-driving shuttle, performed at the Critics' Choice Award and screwed up a card trick. 623 people have lost 29,934 pounds. And here he is preaching love, Mr. Penn Jillette.
Yes, here we are, brothers and sisters, you angel-headed hipsters. That's all I got.
That's it.
I came out of the gate strong.
Oh,
Yeah.
We discussed it and decided we were going to try to do a good show.
We are.
Today, right?
We're going to try to do a really good show.
Okay.
We're focused.
Let's do a good show
We're
today.
going to make it funny and interesting.
I came with multiple items and props today. I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
Good,
Matt
good.
brought things.
Good. You brought things.
I
You brought
did.
things. Here's the thing. For those of you watching on the video, which nobody is,
Yeah.
my eye line is in a different place. And the reason is I lost over 100 pounds, okay? Yeah. I have willpower, you know? I'm someone who can decide to practice and learn something and practice and learn it. I can practice bass until my fingers bleed, you know? Mm-hmm. I can learn things. I can practice juggling. I can do I have a certain control over myself, self-control. But certain things I cannot control. One is peanut butter, you know? I seem to be powerless over peanut butter. And I'm talking about not even like organic, you know, just peanut butter. I'm talking about peanut butter that has sugar, salt, palm oil, and rat feces in it. You know, Jif. Now, see what I've just done there? Often when I name a brand name on the air, they send me stuff.
Yeah.
But by saying rat feces, Jif will not do a little thing going, loved your comments about us.
And as a matter of fact, just want to point out that joke you made, and that you no way think that Jif has rat feces in it.
I don't.
All right.
I don't.
Isn't it allegedly?
Allegedly,
What
sure.
are the rules?
Sure, I don't know. But, I mean, there is an amount.
Yeah.
With any sort of mass-produced food item.
There we go.
There is an amount that you're allowed to have.
I'm cutting all this anyway.
Of all these things. You cut all this?
Ready.
I'm hungry.
Do you go for stuff with peanut butter in it? Like anything that has a peanut butter as an ingredient?
If we were at a restaurant when we used to feast all the time.
Yeah.
When we feasted tremendously all the time. By the way, that's my new word. I think it's a much better word. Cray Ray uses rare and appropriate.
Yeah.
You know, Jason Garfield, great
retro
juggler.
eating.
He uses retro eating.
Yeah.
I've just decided that what we're really trying to say is feasting.
That's absolutely true.
Feasting is the word. And feasting is, if you want to look at how humans should live, feasting is the way, right?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is coming up. We feast. You know?
And very much like what you do as an adult who doesn't give a shit about their diet is you turn every meal and every place you sit down into Thanksgiving.
Into a feast, yeah.
Yeah.
And now, you know, we've got this thing, this amazing thing called the muffin. Mm-hmm. Right? And the muffin is just another word we have for cake.
Oh.
And even though
muffins are healthy.
even though muffin is a sillier, more celebratory word than cake, we've made the word muffin somehow vaguely medicinal.
I was at the airport. This was the Houston airport, and I was getting myself a little bottled water in between, and some gum in between the flights there.
Sure.
And on the display was muffins, not even in like a muffin place, but in like the store part of the airport. And these muffins were larger than my fist.
Yep.
And it said chocolate chip muffin. And so I picked it up just to see if it was vegan. No, I picked it up. I picked it up out of curiosity, and the weight of it was unbelievable. And I looked at the calories of it. One muffin, it had 920 calories. And I was like, "What?"
That's a feast.
Someone's making an impulse buy to grab a muffin at the store, and they're having like 1,000 calories.
More than breakfast.
Yeah.
More than bacon and eggs.
I was like, who decided? I was like, yeah, let's put out the muffin. That's the 1,000 calories. Let's get that out there.
Yeah, but so it used to be a birthday cake was a big deal.
Yeah.
Now you go into a meeting in Hollywood, and there is a tray of birthday cakes. It's like it's all our birthdays every single day. You go to like one of those towers of onion rings. That would have been something. My mother, my sister, my grandmother, my brother. We all get together every 4th of July, and they work for days to make a blooming onion of grease and onion and bear fat. And we fry it all up, and then we eat it. And each one of us gets 10,000 calories from that.
Yeah.
Now you go to any of these chain places, want a blooming onion?
Yeah.
And it's just
Start with that too.
It's a starter.
Yeah.
It's a starter.
Before you even think about eating what you're going to eat.
Just to warm you up.
Yeah. While you look over the rest of the food,
Yeah.
why don't you eat some food?
Why don't you dip some breaded fried fat onion in some mayonnaise?
So I've decided that feast is the word I want to use.
It's a good. I have a friend who she works for Johnson & Johnson, but in Europe, and she says when she comes back to the U.S. to do business, that she cannot believe how much every day is focused on eating a tremendous amount of food.
Yeah, we have meals punctuated with a small amount of work and occasional sex,
Yeah.
and everything else is a meal. And everybody you're going to meet for anything is a meal.
Yeah.
I'm not talking cannibalism there.
Okay. Then you lost me.
Okay, I mean you meet with other people to eat things that aren't people.
Yeah.
So I don't have willpower when it comes to peanut butter. I'm not sure. I have done this, but it's difficult. Have you ever stopped mid-pee because something's really important?
No.
I've made the attempt.
But I mean, you're peeing, and then all of a sudden, like, ah! And
Yeah.
you got to run, and you just stop peeing, and it is hard.
Yeah.
Very difficult. And the same thing sexually. There's a certain point where it's very hard. And I find none of those.
Yeah.
Peanut butter, peeing, masturbation don't have the sway over me that the computer upgrade to High Sierra has.
Yeah. Upgrade to Mac OS, High Sierra. Install.
Now, here's the difference. Godot has that little thing in his upper right-hand corner.
It's right there right
that
now.
says install,
Yeah.
and he hasn't hit it. How long has it been there, Godot?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
I came
on, 30 minutes before the show. It started up.
I came in, I opened my computer up,
Yeah.
and there it was in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah.
And I said, oof, well, that takes a half hour, 45 minutes. I need my computer while I'm doing the show. I have to see my notes and stuff. I'm not going to hit it. While I'm doing the sentence, I'm not going to hit it. I hit it.
Yes.
I go, boom, boom. I also know that High Sierra takes out my favorite feature in mail. It's gone now in High Sierra. I like to finish my emails that I've read, and then I like to file them in a thing called Temp Archive 1. Okay? I don't put it in the trash. I want it to all go in one folder, and then those are, every 6 months or so, archived off the active mail into this huge, which I believe is a few million messages. Okay. So there is a function where you use Option Command. You hold down Option Command and hit T. And what that does is it moves whatever message you have highlighted into the last place you moved them, which happens to be temp. And I have that going on all my computers. Read the message, send it, boom, hit those 3 keys. Boom, boom, boom. They've taken that away. Now that pulls up emojis.
Oh,
That's lost. So now I have to learn a whole different way of doing mail because, I could easily write a little mini program
yeah.
that would give me those keys back. But I decided when I went over to Mac from Windows that I was going to be their ideal customer.
Yes.
Now, their ideal customer a year ago wanted to use those 3 buttons to move it there. Now the ideal customer wants to use those 3 buttons to open emojis.
Those 3 buttons.
By the way, in my hand,
Yeah.
I have a $1,300 piece of apparatus. Now, I want you to tell me, because Piff explained this to me before I got it, why I have spent $1,300 on this as opposed to keeping my 7 or buying an 8. Why did I do it, Guido?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Why did I do it?
Because you like fancy things or the fanciest.
Why did I do it, Reddy?
Because $1,300 means nothing to you?
Why did I do it, Jarrah?
We can't even hear Jarrah.
Jessica. So I can be a talking unicorn. That's why. For $800, I could have a brand new 8. But for $1,300, I can be a motherfucking talking unicorn. That is the only difference. The only difference. The only difference for $500. Piff said to me over lunch, "Have you ordered the new iPhone 10?" I said, yes. Piff said, "You know why?" I said, "Well, I wanted to have." He goes, No. There's one reason. One reason, Penn. One reason. You want to be a talking unicorn. And I looked over the qualities that this phone's going to have before it came out. I looked over the whole thing, and it said that it face recognition, and you can be a talking unicorn. It says that. Okay, this is a machine for adults. This is like birthday cake
An
for breakfast.
expensive machine for adults.
Really expensive.
Yes.
Really, really expensive. Feed a village expensive, right? Wicked, stupid, insanely expensive. And so I got it hooked up. I changed it over, and I went into messages. And sure enough, at the bottom of messages, there's a little app button, and there's a picture of a monkey. And you hit that monkey button, and up comes 6 different things you can be. You can be a monkey. You can be a turd. You can be a robot. You can be an alien. You can be a squirrel or bunny, hard to tell which. You can be a panda bear. And then at the bottom, unicorn. Rainbowy, multicolored unicorn. You hit that button, you hit a record button, and the phone maps your face so that every eyebrow move and every blink and every turn of your head and your mouth are exactly mimicked by a unicorn electronic puppet. Then you can send that to somebody, and they get a little video that is you as a talking, winking, eyebrowing, head-turning unicorn right in sync with it. So what did I do? I don't want my children to know this, but I opened up my phone, went to that app, became a talking unicorn, and sent it to Piff. Now, I sent it to my children after that, a different one, but I sent one to Piff and got a message back going, "Bargain, worth every penny."
Can it send the talking unicorn to non-10 phones?
Yes, it can. So now you're
I
hurt,
have
aren't
not.
you?
I am. I have not.
Why haven't
received-
you got?
I have not received a unicorn talking message.
You haven't. Well, I'll send it to you.
Thank
I'll
you.
send you one. You are going
So
to be.
say that with a question.
You are.
Thank you.
You are going to be so impressed. You're going to say, "Wow, Penn really is a talking unicorn."
Please don't make it so that I have to go out and buy a $1,300
My
phone.
friend Penn is successful enough in show business. He can be a talking unicorn.
I think there ought to be bonuses this year for the podcast crew. Don't you think? I mean, Christmas is coming up, and
Yeah, you would like to send your talking unicorn. I will tell you,
I'll go with the monkey.
I'll take the money.
the fish.
Just so we're clear.
The facial recognition is unbelievably good. The facial recognition is so good on this phone that I turn it on and there's not even a blink. It doesn't even say it's checking my face. It just comes on. And I go, well, this is stuck on all the time. Moxie, open it. And Moxie picks it up, turns, and I go, who are you? Get out of here. Give Penn back his phone. My wife, everybody, nobody. I pick it up.
I'm
Hello,
so glad you
Penn.
tested that.
How are you
because
doing?
I was pretty much just going to assume you had never tested it.
It's good. It's really, really good. So I hit the button on there, and now I have my talking unicorn machine. I don't know why they don't call it iPhone TUM. Talking unicorn machine.
You got in your tum? Your eye tum?
You got the iTum, the talking unicorn machine. It is, the screen is beautiful, all that stuff. It is as far from worth it as anything has ever been. And I love it. I just absolutely love it.
Well, that's what tech is for.
And the camera is such high quality that it's kind of scary. It's now like the best camera you can get. Even if you want to buy like a regular box and stuff,
Yeah.
you can do more stuff with this. It's just phenomenal.
I lose that argument with my wife all the time. We have a fancy camera that and every time we go with the kids somewhere, I mean, like on command, halfway into the drive, she goes, I forgot to bring the camera. And I always go like, how many megapixels does that camera have?
Megapixels.
Megapixel. How many megapixels does that camera have? It is less than the one in your iPhone. I promise you.
And it also has all this processing, makes it look beautiful.
Yeah.
This has like this portrait thing, put different lighting on it. I took a picture in the monkey room of myself with theatrical lighting and sent it to Glenn and said, couldn't this be my headshot for all time? Isn't this what we paid like, $10,000 for?
There's an argument about basically someone that was kind of secretly pro-Kardashian, but like why we hate the youth taking selfies and why we hate the selfies so much and why we like to complain about youth taking selfies. And the truth is that Kim Kardashian sold a book of her own selfies. She was the photographer, and she made thousands of. She sold it like 10,000 copies. And we're really just mad that like people are just possessing their own ability to do that.
People have such great stuff now. So I believe I can stop, and we can test this if you like, but I'll get full written consent from you beforehand. I believe I can stop halfway through masturbation. I believe I can stop halfway through peeing. I believe I can avoid peanut butter. But you put
I'm strike 3 on all those.
If you put a thing up in the upper right-hand corner of a machine that I'm working on that says, we got new stuff for you, I'm going to hit that button, even if we're now at 18 minutes before it's updated this. So I have my notes on my talking unicorn machine.
I am an obsessive updater on my phone and not on my computer.
Well, we had for a while that really fun thing where you typed I and it gave you a little brick.
Right.
That was fun. But that's been fixed now. And you know who fixed it right away? Me. Boom. Hit the button. Update. I got it. Yes, I'm an obsessive updater with everything. And we have a computer guy who works with Penn and Teller. Okay? He says, don't ever get the update the day it comes out. Don't be that. Boom. I hit it anyway. What if there's something? What if there's another talking unicorn? Well, I'm not going to miss that.
Where would you be on like the marshmallow test?
I'm fabulous at the marshmallow test.
Okay.
I'd be fabulous. For my whole life, it would have been fabulous. I have complete and utter self-control. I can plan for the future. I can do all of that, except in updating electronics.
For anybody, I'm going to butcher it, but for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, which is that they did an experiment with kids where they put a marshmallow in front of them at a table. And they said, if you don't eat this for 5 minutes?
Yeah, I think it's 15, but yeah.
We'll give you a second marshmallow.
You'll get 2, yeah.
Yeah.
They leave them alone in the room.
And leave them alone in the room.
And turns out that, all this social science stuff has been turned out to be bogus. But
yeah.
That's what we discovered last week, yeah.
And what they claim is that those children who can wait the 15 minutes for 2 marshmallows are the ones that do far better in life than the others. But here's what. I was reading about different cases of the marshmallow test.
Okay.
And there are some children who go over in the corner and play for 15 minutes.
Oh.
There are some children that sing and move away.
Oh.
And there are some children that look out the window. All of those are wonderful strategies.
Yeah.
Then there are the really, really rare children who sit with their hands folded in front of them and stare at the marshmallow they're not eating. I want to do the marshmallow test on every 6-year-old in the country.
Yeah.
And then the children we have that just sit there looking at the marshmallow with their arms folded,
Yeah.
I want them to be groomed to run our country. These are not people who are going to tweet
No.
at 3 a.m. that a nuclear power is fat and short. They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, Donald Trump would not pass the marshmallow test.
He would yell, "I'll buy more marshmallows," as he ate the first one, and then demand to be let out of the room before the 15 minutes was up.
Or, I believe,
Yeah.
he would claim he hadn't eaten the marshmallow. He would claim someone came in here and took the marshmallow from me.
And there were a fair number of kids who did that.
Yeah, there were. Yeah. Those children,
Yeah.
put them right in jail.
Yeah. Certainly don't give them real estate contracts.
No, don't give them.
Oh, I was talking with Godot before you came in, and because of the new JFK conspiracy stuff that's coming. With the new JFK papers comes new JFK conspiracy stuff.
Right.
And I figured out, and it drives me crazy, but I figured out a rule. Next time anyone wants to talk to me about any kind of conspiracy theory, they are not allowed to use the word they or them. As long as if you can tell me what you're thinking without using the word they or them,
That's a really good
then
thing.
I'll listen to you talk about a conspiracy theory.
I will tell you, do you know, people have just forgotten this.
Yeah.
Do you know why these papers came out now? Do you know why?
I don't.
Do you know why?
Wasn't it because they were afraid we couldn't handle the truth at that time?
No.
No?
No. You know why?
I heard this, but I've already forgotten.
PR for JFK, Oliver Stone's movie. Oliver Stone demanded, as a PR stunt,
Yeah.
they release all the documents they had. They countered, we can't do this right now, we'll do it in 25 years. Oliver Stone did a big press thing, how it'll be out in 25 years. And now we are acting like this is a government thing instead of movie promotion that was never supposed to pay off. I've got an idea for Penn and Teller that we're going to do this. I don't know if we're doing it on Fool Us or whatever, but we want to predict our deaths and our obituaries and everything in a time capsule to be opened by a group of people that will be chosen soon, like 500 people. It'll be buried. It'll be a time capsule. They open up. It'll have all the obituary information plus the information on everybody who's there. And we're going to find 100 children who are around 10 years old now. And we're going to find a 1,000 audience members who are about 10 years old now. And they will sign promises and get tickets and so on. And then we started in 1975. So in 2075, it'll have been 100 years. Moxie will be the same age that Teller is now. And there'll be these children, and they will go to a place where they will dig up a time capsule, and in it will be a prediction. Okay? Now, we're going to do that trick for sure. And we're excited about it. We're working on the method and laying it out and how we're going to do it. And we're working on buying the land that goes into a trust and can't be sold and is also concealed and all this stuff. We're doing everything right?
Yeah.
And the people that are going to be the magicians, which there'll be a lottery for that. 10-year-old kids watching Fool Us can write in the lottery to be the magician. And they will get all the information on where they have to be, and then they will be taught in 2075, early in 2075, how to do the trick. Whichever one of them is going to show up. Out of 100, I'm thinking 15 show up.
Yeah.
That seems about right, doesn't it? They will, and out of 1,000, maybe 150 show up. Okay.
Just a guess.
And they're all 10 years old, and they'll all be in their 60s then. and they're going to show up, and these people will be given a fund. The magician will be given a fund. There'll be money in our wills and in trusts that give them the money they need to perform the trick, and they'll be, to set up everything there, and there'll be a self-playing video machine that'll be in there with us on it, and we'll predict the date, time, and cause of both of our deaths. We'll read off a roster of everybody that's there, and do some other predictions of what's happened, and then they'll get to see that and cover it, and it'll go on. That is just a stunt that happens now, and what makes us, I think, good people is that it does not have any governmental ramifications. Oliver Stone's demanding of these papers from the government has no more governmental intellectual content than our stupid little trick.
Right.
But he has made it so that, they decided 25 years ago they would. What was happening 25 years ago, people? Well, that's when we were releasing this stupid movie. A movie that postulates a conspiracy between, let me see if I can get this right, the Cubans, CIA, FBI, Mafia, unions, big business, Jimmy Hoffa, and LBJ. All working together, one happy family, in order to sell an Oliver Stone shitty movie. That's what they were all working together to do. But our version of this trick in 100 years, I think will hurt no one. It might be fun. Now, if you were 10 years old,
I forget, there was like a CIA agent who Oliver Stone arranged for Kevin Costner to meet, he was like I guess like a bad figure, like a guy that we wouldn't like today, kind of thing. And I guess back then, I don't know who the guy's name was or whatever, but they arranged a meeting. And so Kevin Costner decided he wasn't going to try to play nice, but he rang the doorbell of the guy's house, and just like right away from the front door was like, "All right, have it out. Who killed JFK? Tell me right now." And the guy was like, "Fuck off. Get out of here." Guy just kicked Kevin Costner out of his place. He's like, he didn't even say hello and whatever. He's like, "Stop it. Get out of my face."
Right. It's just, and all of that, of course, is proof positive that he was part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Proof positive. Here's the thing that amazes me. The CIA, Cuba, J. Edgar Hoover, LBJ, all of these people were able to get together, right? And they were able to give cancer to everybody that saw anything they shouldn't have seen. They were able to have car accidents anybody shouldn't have seen. They were able to shut up everybody. But they couldn't stop Oliver Stone from making a movie. The fact that JFK came out is absolute proof that it's not true. Now, if JFK didn't come out, it might be true. Do you know how easy it is to monkey wrench a movie?
Yeah.
Well, the movie Scorpio about the JFK assassination, based on the DeLillo book, was supposed to come out around the same time as JFK.
Right.
Okay? And the movie company said whichever one gets to production first is going to come out. We're not going to compete, And so that movie had some trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
And didn't get made. I mean, DeLillo's book, Scorpio, is a fabulous book.
Right.
Fabulous book. It's by, smart grown-ups. That didn't turn into a movie because that. Now, I don't know. I'm not saying Oliver Stone monkey wrenched a movie, but I'm telling you, and I think this is absolutely true. I think there's no hyperbole. There's a movie being made right now somewhere in the country. I believe if you, and I don't mean you like someone like Matt Donnelly.
Yeah.
I mean you, alone, by yourself, decided that movie will not be made. That movie will not be made. I believe you could stop it.
I'm only laughing because I kind of agree with you.
I think you could stop it.
Because you know how fucking hard it is to get a movie to come out.
Right. You go, and I'm talking about...
Everyone is paranoid. Everybody's worried it's not going to work.
But also, if you had... I'm talking about you have no morals, no scruples.
That's what I mean. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is, like, so you want stars, right? If I could just find any rumor of the star coming up to them, I'm sure I could find someone near them to be like, do not work with that with blank.
Right.
And actors are so paranoid right now
Right.
that would probably work.
And you could also do very, very easily, you just flood the internet with things that when you were 14 years old, they
Yeah.
raped you. Then you make sure they've already shot really important scenes in one location,
yeah.
and you burn it down. That's all. You just torch it.
Yeah.
Just burn it down.
Yeah.
Right? And then you make 2 calls, one to the DP,
Yeah.
right? One to one of the producers, just saying, I'm going to kill you if you work on this movie.
Yeah.
Okay? Then the house burns down. Then the guys possibly, fuck it, forget it, we're out of this.
And I know everyone's saying, like, Matt, would you do all this? And that's not what Penn's point is.
No.
The point is that
It's why,
He would
why
have brought up
chose
me
you.
instead.
It's why I chose you, so be realistic.
is that if I'm capable of doing this, the CIA is certainly capable of doing this.
The CIA,
Yeah.
Lyndon Johnson,
Yeah.
the mafia,
I mean,
the unions,
Castro was still in power till like last week.
all of Cuba. And so he makes this movie, which he shoots at Dealey Plaza. Not hard to find out where he's going to be. And this movie points the finger at all these people. If any of these people were 5% what he claims they are in terms of morality,
Yeah.
right, and in terms of power, he doesn't make that movie. We're starting to shoot JFK. He's doing very well. Principal photography has begun. Oh, my goodness. Kevin Costner hit by a bus.
Yeah, yeah.
We're starting JFK again. Here it goes. It's going, oh, the new guy hit by a taxi cab. I mean, proved it. So now we are living with this PR thing
Yeah.
that this has to come out.
I'm actually now worried. You've now made me retroactively worried that whoever the next Oliver Stone is, that my kids are going to come up to me at like 20, 25 years old and be like, Dad, who's Donald Trump and what was he like? And they're going to come to me with like information that gives him like all this merit or like all of this forward thinking. And I have to sit there at the table for like 2 weeks and be like, no, none of that. He's just an idiot. No, he just said that. He didn't know anything.
You look back. I mean, this is what's driving me crazy. You read history,
Yeah.
you read history, and you read about, Napoleon, and you read about Hitler, and you read about Nero, and you read this stuff, and you go, what were regular people doing during that time? I mean,
Yeah.
sane people like us. What were we doing? And now we're finding out what we were doing.
Yeah.
We're finding out. You had a president of the United States sending out tweets saying crazy stuff, lying, attacking, subverting the Constitution, suborning perjury left and right. You have a guy doing all this. What were you doing during that? We were doing a podcast.
man.
I had this phone, and it
I
made
was
me
a
into a
talking
talking unicorn. Why would I care?
Like you had a president say all of his own agencies were incorrect while he stood next to a guy who fucked with us and said, I believe he's right. And he feels insulted. Putin feels insulted, and you guys should stop this.
Yeah.
Weeks after Facebook was sitting there admitting, going like, yeah, we're dumb. We took rubles for political ads and didn't think about it. Like, they're not saying we didn't do that.
Right.
All these social media people are saying, we took rubles for political ads. We shouldn't have.
Russians were encouraging violence
Yeah.
through our platform on social justice sites that we believed. But everything's cool because I got a talking unicorn.
Guys,
Yeah.
there were a few things I didn't want to talk about
Oh.
on this podcast. You have, however, put the little box up in the upper right-hand corner that says, Penn, hit this box for an update. I'm going to say something that no one will agree with me on.
Okay.
Nobody. Nobody will agree with me. And ready, Rich, get ready. What is it? Ask Penn.
Question Penn.
questionpenn@gmail.com. It's going to be flooded in. I think, I'm even putting down my phone for this. I think if we believe in freedom of speech deeply and honestly to our core, if we believe in democracy, if we believe in the citizen of the United States being able to determine truth and vote and act based on that. If we believe the First Amendment deeply to our souls, we should not care what Russia floods our media with. We should be able to say Russia's put up Pizzagate. They say that Hillary Clinton is responsible for kiddie porn run out of a pizza place in D.C. We should allow people to flood that all over our media as absolutely true. And we should say the answer to bad speech is good speech. The answer to bad speech is more speech. And we should say clearly and out, this information is coming from the Russians. Here's the evidence I have. Here's the evidence I have that this is not true. To say we are going to have our government look over Facebook and Twitter and Instagram more closely to make sure the stuff that's on there is true is wrong, wrong, wrong. So like I've been doing many times in the press recently, the people who are apologizing and saying mea culpa, I am saying their only mistake is they should not be apologizing. I am saying Facebook, Twitter, take money from anybody. Take money from anybody and put up anything. Now, we come to the fire in a crowded theater thing.
No. And,
if they say something like...
You said two steps, and the first step I 100% agree with you with. It's the second step that no one's doing.
What's that?
You said we know it's from Russia.
When we identify and present evidence that it is from Russia, then we have a group of people immorally knowing that it is from Russia saying it's not, and that it's the crazy media for saying it's Russia.
Sure.
So that's the part that is upsetting.
And the way to cover that
Yeah.
is more speech.
Right.
It's from Russia, it's from Russia, it's from Russia, it's from Russia.
Right.
You know, I think if you're going to have a society where you trust people
Yeah.
to ascertain what's true, that it doesn't matter who's doing that freedom of speech.
I understand that. I just mean
How
that,
do you
like
feel
when-
about the advocation of violence through that?
Well, I was about to say that. I was about to say there's the fire in a crowded theater thing.
Yeah.
If you have someone who is saying, I am going to, everybody should hurt this person, so on, we have rules for that.
Yeah.
We have rules for that. I think when a random person on Twitter says, if you do this, this, and this, I will use nuclear bombs on you, that person should lose their Twitter account,
Right.
and they should be punished for saying that by the government. I think there's no doubt that Donald Trump should have been arrested for what he said on Twitter about nuclear bombs against North Korea.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. That's easy. That's cut and dry. So yes, I want Mark Zuckerberg to completely have free reign.
Yeah.
I want the President of the United States to be handcuffed. That's the position I'm in. But I think them saying we shouldn't have taken ads for rubles, I think they can take those ads for rubles. And when someone says to them, where are those ads coming from? They go, took money from Russia. And then if people go, we don't want you to take money from Russia, they go, okay, we won't. But I think it is not a governmental issue. It is a free market issue.
Oh, I understand that. My only point to bring it, why I brought it up in the first place, was having the president weeks after that happened deny that that there's any meddling.
Right.
That's the part that he's like, when he tells us to lay off of Putin because the left media is going crazy. Right after we had people testify that, rigged election or not, like we definitely have irrefutable evidence of messing with the election.
We do.
Rigged,
We do.
So like to say like,
But I don't
these
think
guys.
that should be illegal.
right.
I just think we should say, oh, this is what they did.
Yeah.
And when the president's denying it, we have stuff in place to say, oh, the president's lying. Let's get rid of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, we elected that president.
I think that's what's happening.
Good. I think so, too.
You know what I mean? I don't think you're arguing a point that we've gone a different path. We
but-
seem to be following that path.
There are people who say that the government has to oversee Facebook and Twitter
And regulate the speech that's on
to
there
make
like
sure
they do
that-
on television.
Make sure that it's real.
Because it's very regulated in television and movies.
Yeah.
And the Citizens United case is a big
Yeah.
case. Of that.
So I think there are people saying that. There are a lot of people saying that. And there are a lot of people who say, see, this is the thing that drives me nuts. If someone says something crazy in politics,
yeah.
and you tell me this is not true, this is not crazy, this is not true, this is crazy.
Yeah.
If you can figure that out, so can other people.
Right.
And that you can help them. You can tell them that. And I still believe, even with everything going on, I still believe in free speech.
Well, I think so too, because I think the case of everything we're hearing about Russia, it's not about. It's just that we underestimated people's ability to do what they did. We just didn't see it coming.
We talk a lot about good and evil on this show, and I think if you are on Black Lives Matter and you're a Russian encouraging action against the police, that's a premeditated evil, and that's an unusual thing to see in the world.
If you are there encouraging...
If you are there encouraging actions for a group that you are not involved in simply to try to destroy another society, I think that that's genuine evil. And we rarely...
Yeah, I don't believe in evil.
I know that you don't, and that's why I wanted to talk about this.
I think that's something wrong. I think it's a wrong thing. I think it's a bad thing to do. But I don't believe that the cause of it is evil. I believe that the cause of it is someone who's wrong.
So you think that their motivation is we should all live like I do, and we have to stop that.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's true.
Well, what do you
Or
think?
if it's just adversarial. I think it's football.
You think the devil's in them?
I don't think the devil's in them, but I think it's football. I think that those guys have to go down because they're not me.
Yeah, exactly.
And that, that's...
Yeah.
In the case of violence, I find that pretty bad.
I believe that the word evil is supernatural.
Sure, okay.
So I don't like that word anymore.
Right. So bad.
But yeah. And I think that when the Black Lives Matter people are infiltrated and doing
hijacked,
that,
sure.
we find that out and we make that public. But I don't think we have the government decide what goes on the Black Lives Matter's website.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. I think the turn that you're looking for has to happen even if people don't even agree with you, which is like we have to, there's a frustration, I believe, overall right now with a lack of an ability to even agree on the terms of what we're debating. What is truthful?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
there's a lot of people who think that, Trump should not have been elected. I'm one of those people.
Right.
And I think that the mistake for Trump being elected lies with, first of all, running against the only candidate he could have beaten.
Right.
Also helps. And I think the fact that so much of what this nut with no moral center said, so much of that was kind of sort of true.
Yeah.
The Bernie Sanders thing. I mean, Democrats have never been able to see, to be able to turn their ship around.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm reading LOD's book, Lawrence O'Donnell Jr.'s book about playing with fire, about 1968. It was exactly like Bernie Sanders. The government could not see. They could not see that Eugene McCarthy and Bobby Kennedy were actually the voice of the people. They were going with Herbert Humphrey.
Right.
They were sticking behind him. And Herbert Humphrey was Hillary Clinton. And Eugene McCarthy, as LOD says in his book, in a moment that stopped me dead, was the last presidential candidate who ever ran thinking he could play to the high intelligence of his audience. Do you know that in some of his acceptance speeches, he quoted poetry? He came out and would actually, he's a big poetry fan and wrote poetry. He would come out and quote Walt Whitman at the beginning of his speeches, And they took him.
That gives me mixed emotions. Of course, I feel like that's silly now, right?
Yeah.
But we always go back to this. It's don't you want someone smarter than you running the country.
I don't think it's silly at all.
Yeah.
I'm reading this and going, man, Eugene McCarthy, he's the guy we needed to have.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And I think that, the Democratic Party chose Herbert Humphrey.
Yeah.
Can I get a couple of Huberts in there to fix that?
Oh, Hubert.
It's
Hubert Humphrey.
Humphrey, yeah.
Hubert, not Hebert.
Not Herbert.
Herbert.
Hubert.
Hubert.
Thanks.
Hubert Humphrey.
Reddy's going to fix that later.
Well, you could also just let people know I'm an idiot. I gave platelets. I want to say, I'm going to go into this soon. I want to say proudly, I'm noticing this because I've been giving platelets not as often as I can. You can every 7 days, but I've been doing about every 2 weeks. And I now have enough scar tissue around my vein that I now, it hurts the whole time I do it.
Wow.
So they're going to have to go to different veins now. I'm going to have to move around on veins. They told me about a guy in Las Vegas, a guy here. Listen to this. He has been giving, let me see, every 7 days. So like 25 times a year.
52.
A full 52 times a year? No, 25.
Every 7 days
every
is a week.
7 days, right.
52.
50 times a year. 50 times a year.
I've been instructed to let everybody know that Penn is an idiot.
50 times a year for 20 years.
Wow.
He's been in there every single week giving platelets. He's something like in the 35-gallon club. 35 gallons of platelets, not plasma. I mean, just this enormous amount. And they say that both of his arms right across there are solid scar tissue. They just have to stick it through and try to find the vein.
Wow.
They said it's the hardest phlebotomy at all, except that the guy is so nice and so fine. Goes, oh, yeah, it's hard to find him. Go ahead. So when I was saying I get a little scar tissue there, they showed me a great deal of sympathy, then told me about him as a way to say toughen the
Shut
fuck
up,
up.
yeah.
But I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I go and I get a full 2 hours of reading.
Right.
Full 2 hours of reading, and I love the little tingle I get in my mouth. And I also, even though I'm on a strict diet, I use that as an opportunity to feast.
Have a couple of cookies.
Have a couple Oreos afterwards. I'm just thrilled. I just can't say enough good about apheresis, doning, the giving of platelets.
Nice.
Although I'm hoping to not give platelets all the time. I'm hoping they'll pull, because one time they pulled out granulocytes. I wanted to pull out different stuff out of my blood and put it back in. It's just such a great thing. And now I can do my whole questionnaire at home, and I bring in a little, what are those?
Thumb drive?
No, a little square. What are those called? The square pictures? UP?
Oh, yeah.
Universal something? That the
Things that are on every airline ticket and
Yeah, yeah,
A little
yeah.
scan thing.
What are those called, those scan things? What's that?
QR code.
A QR code. I have a little QR code I bring in, and I do it. It's
You should get it tattooed onto you.
Yeah, well, except it changes.
Oh, that's too bad.
But it would be nice to have a QR code tattooed, wouldn't it? Be right. Okay. Stamps saves you time and money, which you can use to grow your business. I can mail any letter, any package using just my computer and printer, and the mail carrier picks it up. Avoid the hassle of the post office and mail everything from postcards to envelopes to packages, domestic or international. You notice that? You notice that? Envelope. I didn't say envelope.
No,
I said
You've
envelope.
been practicing.
I said envelope. Herbert Humphrey. Create your stamps account in minutes online with no equipment to lease and no long-term commitments. No long-term commitments. Click, print, mail, and you're done. Unlike the post office, stamps.com never closes. Print postage for letters or packages at your convenience 24/7. Convenient, easy, reliable, flexible. Any scoop stuff, right? Stamps?
All goes through stamps, yeah.
Yeah, just sent out a couple of barbecues this week, actually.
Barbecue Zoo. went out with stamps, right? Oh, it's so good. My wife has no trouble working with them. She calls them up. They help her out. It's fabulous. The long-suffering Laura does a great job. If you send for an autographed picture of Penn and Teller, it's going to come from Stamps.com.
Right.
We love these guys. I use Stamps.com because I make someone else use it. That's my personal recommendation. And right now, you too can enjoy the Stamps.com service with a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus postage and a digital scale without long-term commitments. Go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in
Penn.
That's Stamps.com, enter
Penn.
Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. What's your week been like, Matt Donnelly?
I went to Louisiana, went down to Natchitoches, which is spelled Godot.
Nacdeches. Nacogdoches.
I would pronounce it as Natchitoches.
Yeah, that's
But
how
it's
it looks like.
Natchitoches. It's Natchitoches, Louisiana. One of the oldest towns in the Louisiana Purchase.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if you know this, but they filmed Steel Magnolias there.
Yeah.
If you don't know that, you will find out about every 5 minutes to this day.
Now,
this day.
who was in Steel Magnolias?
Dolly Parton, Shirley MacLaine,
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts.
Is it a good movie?
It's one of those ones that makes you cry. It's like a sit down and cry movie.
Okay, yeah.
Makes me cry because you get to see the town.
But they
and
really-
it's
it really-
beautiful.
it's
It's,
very much- it's-
such a beautiful place.
The story is written about the town. Very much, the town is integral to it, and so they filmed it there, and it apparently really shows the town a good light. And what happens is you find out is that the town was at the time they filmed on the decline. It wasn't necessarily a highly evolving town, and then all of a sudden, the movie glorified the town so much that it created a booming bed and breakfast industry.
Oh, good.
So now, like, the whole town is filled with tourists.
Why were you there?
I was there because we were Paul and I were brought out to teach improv and perform improv and do live podcasts and talk about modern media to the arts department at Northwestern State University.
What a deal.
It was a great deal.
Why is Northwestern
Western.
in Central Southern?
Yeah, it's
Northwestern State, and it's actually not even the Northwestern of Louisiana. It's actually totally in central Louisiana.
Why is it called Northwestern?
all the other letters were gone.
Of all the things I found out about the town, that is not one of them.
Okay.
But that's
Is it a big university?
No, it's a charming little college. Yeah.
Did they like you there?
They did, and I was worried because of all the talk of like modern college kids and stuff going in there. When I was doing improv, I immediately started identifying people by their gender, and I was like trying to stop myself from doing that. No, we ran into no trouble at all. It was actually they were a fantastic crowd. They're everything that I remember from performing for colleges. It was happening again. Like they were like.
And how big an
roaring.
audience did you have for your little shindig?
We only had about 100, but we taught probably about 40 kids total, and we went into 3 different classrooms to talk in different
That's
classes.
nice.
as well.
How long were you down? 3 days, you said?
Yeah, 3 days. Yeah.
And what did? How was Louisiana for you?
It is different living down there. I mean, we talk about this. There's very few places where you go where you feel like you're like in like a different part of the country kind of thing, where like it doesn't feel like homogenized. It's a slightly
Yeah.
different version.
Well, there's a Gap and there's a Cinnabons.
Not the case here. I mean, it's just a really
It's a
different.
different part of the world.
Really?
It's beautiful, and it's a real different feel to it.
And you go to the
from-
restaurants and like all the Cajun food and stuff like that. Like nothing. We went to a breakfast place that we were being hosted. And they took us out to this breakfast place, and I looked at the menu and I was like, I don't actually see a breakfast item on this menu. Like, everything listed here, I would just consider like Cajun food. Like I don't know
Grits.
what is more breakfast versus lunch on this menu. I'm looking
Like
at.
we had grits.
Yeah, they grits and but they're like
Chicken fried steak.
gumbo and
Gumbo.
meat pies and all this other stuff, which is just an empanada, but I want to tell them that.
Just what?
I didn't want to tell them that because it's Spanish. I think it
empanada,
would make them
yeah.
uncomfortable. Talk about how like a sushi place closed in 4 months and a Thai place lasted even less time than that, kind of thing. Everyone who waits on you is just a college kid. It's like they can't answer any questions you have about anything. It was just adorable. It was just a whole different. It was really felt like it was a different.
And were you
living
staying at a bed and breakfast?
Yes, we were staying at the Judge Porter House. Guy named Judge Porter House. I'm the only one who was fascinated by that. That was a steak. I kept trying to make a joke about it everywhere I went. No one laughed ever. No one cared.
I laughed at it before you made it.
Porterhouse.
I asked if it came with a gavel as we came in. It did. It did come with a gavel. So we had a gavel that we were playing with. We
And you
recorded a
actually-
bunch of episodes in there. There's little foyers and everything. So we recorded a bunch of episodes. They had a different person making us breakfast every morning and talking to us and having conversations.
What kind of breakfast did they make?
There was like one was just like this quiche with just pan roasted potatoes, and then another one that had like this.
That's that newfangled bread and breakfast thing.
Yeah,
We didn't have that.
They had a cherry. Yeah, it was like a cherry cobbler thing.
Yeah,
They
that
had made
we
a
got.
fresh cherry cobbler that had one. This woman goes, "I'm going to bring you guys banana pancakes,"
Banana.
and we said like, "Oh, okay, great." And what came out was like, I would never have called this banana pancake. It was like there's nothing sliced about it. It was like this. It was a loaf of bread with like whipped cream on top. And I was like, this is just a loaf of banana bread. This is nothing pancake. But you happen to throw this in a pan. It could have been by accident, and that's what made it a pancake. But that was one of the breakfast that morning as well.
Was it good?
Delicious.
Delicious. Everything was delicious.
Everything was awesome. I mean, especially where I've just been doing rice and beans up until that point, so everything was delicious. Although I still had rice and beans, which was good.
Very widely available
Yeah,
in
I had-
Louisiana.
but I tried alligator, and I've
Yeah?
only eaten alligator as like a joke or a stunt, right? Like we're gonna make alligator chili or something like
Right.
that. And alligator always has a distinctly kind of chewy, gamey feel to it, so that you can just laugh and be like, "I ate gator," you know. I had an alligator appetizer. There was just pieces of alligator on a toothpick.
Were they fried?
No,
Wow,
yeah,
that's unusual.
yeah, and it just was delicious. It was tender, perfectly spiced thing that was just really good. I was like, I would just order this.
Did you eat a lot of alligator?
When I was a kid? No, not a lot. We were when I was a kid in Louisiana. There was a band where the alligators were endangered. They've bounced back with a vengeance, but at that time there were very few available for eating.
But I mean, did you ever eat an alligator that someone in your family killed?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Squirrels, raccoons.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
We were not. I've sat on the bayou with my uncle Kerry. My middle name is Kerry, namesake. With him pointing the rifle at an alligator on the far bank, just pretending to shoot it because he wasn't allowed to shoot it. He go, I could get that sucker. I got him. He's right there. All I got to do is pull the trigger, and I got him. Bam, and then we have alligator. Nope, can't shoot him.
Did Uncle Kerry like alligator meat?
I think that he did, yes. He
Now,
liked
what-
alligator meats and was scared to death of snakes, which is a really terrible thing if you live in Louisiana. It is snake central. There's a lot of snakes.
I wouldn't think of a Godot as being scared of snakes.
I know. It's unusual.
Yeah.
It was an unusual thing.
Did you eat snake?
Yes.
What kind of snake did you eat?
Rattlesnake, mostly.
Like he looked at you like, you idiot.
No, that's
Rattlesnake.
for some reason that's what people serve. I think I've had cobra in Taiwan, but other than that, it's always rattlesnake.
And what have you got there?
I came home with 2 different types of bird callers.
Okay, let's hear it.
I just want you to know that I busted these out and immediately used both of them incorrectly and was immediately corrected by Godot on how to use these.
Okay, let's hear
So
it.
how would you use this?
I
Hand
would
it over.
stick one thing in the other, and I would wiggle it. I would do this.
You're close.
You are closer.
No. Don't, you're going to get hurt.
There you
it is,
go.
There it is. It's a friction thing. Push it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Not real hard. There it goes.
There you go. That's a bird chirper right there. There, it feels like we're outside or tuning in an AM radio.
Very nice.
Oh, there you go. Got some subtleties in that one.
Yeah. There you go. Getting a little sparrowy.
Sparrow. What is this other thing?
It's just rosin.
That's rosin, like
just
a-
in
like
case
a-
it runs out.
Yeah.
In case
case
it runs
it's
out
too
of
wet.
chirp.
In case you're using it in humid Louisiana instead of the dry desert.
Yeah.
This is a nice thing.
I know. For Hillbill, I bought it in case I could incorporate it into a storytelling or something.
Nice.
Imagine we're in the backwoods. That would be good. What else you got?
So I pulled this out and immediately blew into the wrong end.
Let me see. Let's see if I can find the right end. I would think this would go like this.
Oh, see, damn it. Ah, you made me look bad. I thought. you'd do
Right the
same
first
thing.
time. Put your hand in front of the front. There you go. Now you got it.
That is a duck
I've
away to
accomplished
beef
two
pie.
things.
Giving Cajun lessons.
I made it sound just like a duck. and I've given Matt an excuse for having herpes. Remember when Penn blew that duck call? He said it right on the air. He had herpes, and now I do too.
That's how I got. That's how I got herpes 2 years before that episode.
The laughing duck.
There. Now we're out
Can you
in the
do
bayou.
can you do a better duck call? than
No,
that?
not really. That's about it. That's about it.
Whoa. There's some younger ducks out on the pond.
Yeah,
there.
he did.
I know who could do it better.
Oh,
Your talking unicorn machine.
But this is fun.
Nice. Those are great. I told him to get a turkey collar, which is something that you put inside your mouth. It's got a little diaphragm on it, and you hold it against the top of your tongue.
like a little punch whistle.
Yeah. I'm not sure what you mean by punch whistle.
That's a little half.
Oh, yeah.
half reed.
Yeah, half reed thing. Exactly right. You got to blow through them.
Yeah, you got to blow through
Try
it
not
there.
to swallow it.
And that's fun.
Yeah.
You had a fun time in Louisiana. Also, you did a good job of souvenir purchasing.
Oh, you
I
saw?
approve of that. No,
Oh.
these
Oh, yeah,
these
yeah,
two
yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's an old town. It was called the Mercantile in the middle of town, and in it is just like a store that time forgot, and it just you shop for every single thing in there.
How many different bird calls are there?
It was a ton.
And you why'd you pick those two?
Because I was so curious about the bird collar, and it was nice and small, so I thought it was a magic prop. It'd be real nice. And then the duck collar, I had to have it. Yeah, I had to have it. But I bought my kids like a really old fashioned Jack in the Box.
Oh yeah.
And like little handmade gliders and like an old wooden periscope that they could use.
Oh, nice.
So it just was like these old types of toys.
Periscope or kaleidoscope?
Periscope.
Okay.
So you can use it to like stretch around corners and stuff. I just thought little kids might have fun with that.
Yeah.
I was wrong. They don't give a shit about it. But,
It's something adults think children will
it
like.
was very much like talking about being on the wrong page. They'd come home from L.A. their road trip to L.A. and their neighbors had given them fidget spinners.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, I bought this old fashioned Jack in the Box and they used it once and like, look, we have fidget spinners. And I was like, oh, there you go.
My children have fidget spinners from all over England. They have Union Jack fidget spinners.
I just don't know like how sad that will be, I guess, but maybe it won't be. But you tell people like, this is what I got from England.
Yeah, I got a fidget spinner with a flag.
I got a thing that you can get here.
Yeah. Should have seen him in China. Boy, what is a selection.
There's no such thing as
Could have gotten the UK ones in China.
there's no such thing anymore.
Oh, you're right.
As souvenirs from a certain place. Everything's available on the web.
Right.
You can go on the web and get a T-shirt that says "I've been to Dildo, Newfoundland."
Right.
Just get the T-shirt. Done. Never have to go there at all.
All right.
It's all fixed like
Good point. Good point.
that. Now, when does Hillbill start?
December 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Tickets are up at thespacelv.com.
And then what night am I seeing it?
You're going to see it secretly at a show that no one else knows about. Monday, December 4th.
Monday, December 4th at like 11:30.
Yeah, after Penn and Teller.
11:45.
Yeah.
And we're going to fill up 80 people there.
I guess so.
And I'm thinking the way I want to do it
Yeah.
is I would like to get 80 people in there,
Yeah.
and I would like to charge them nothing.
Uh-huh.
But at the end, I would like to do the bucket show, but do the speech myself.
Oh,
I would like to do the collection at the end
let me talk it over with me. Great. Yeah.
because I think that I would be able to do a really nice thing.
I believe you do it much better than me. And
I will man the bucket at the back door. And I will also decide if someone doesn't put enough in the bucket that they can go around to the back of the line and come through again. See if they can please me this time.
I love that.
I was thinking of going, but I might skip it now.
Just go to the regular
Yeah,
night.
it's the regular one. I donated. I got free tickets. I don't have to.
I hope people come out. I'm psyched. I've been working on this for a couple of months now, and I am loving it. I'm liking the writing of it. I'm liking putting the show together, beginning, middle, and end kind of stuff. I'm really thrilled with it.
If you want to go to the super secret one,
Yeah.
I would say go on Twitter, find my wife,
Yeah.
Emily Gillette,
Yeah.
and do some sort of direct message or something to her, or even put a regular Twitter message saying you want to be part of that.
Yeah.
She's organizing it all.
And it's $25 to see it otherwise.
Right. And if you come the night with just me there, $25, you'll be lucky to get out from it. But you'll be seeing it with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll put a little something at the end. I'll do a little speech, unless you're terrible and I'm embarrassed. In which case, I'll skulk off.
I'm laughing. My buddy, my director, keeps going like, "This is some," or like he's like, "That's what made you think of that joke?" Or that came out of nowhere. I was like, "I believe I'm writing this solely to make Penn laugh."
It'll make me laugh.
I think the 50% of the jokes are there just to make you laugh.
Good. Worked well for Piff.
Well, that's what all the jokes that Andrew Gold and I admitted that on Fool Us, all we're doing is writing when we write for Allison. Getting a chuckle from you is all we want while we're recording. So when Allison does her little lines and you laugh, Gold and I are like, check. That's our only compass for whether or not our jokes did well or not.
I was in last night in Mystic Lake, which is outside of Minneapolis.
Ooh.
And a woman came up and gave me a big bag of gifts for Moxie, Z, Godot, and Matt.
Really?
Which have
Your
not,
4 children.
have not come home on the truck. And a guy came up and said to me, "You tell Godot I love him."
Wow, that's a nice thing.
Nobody for me.
No, I got it. That's fine. I'll just take the gifts. I don't care.
So,
you got a gift coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Things are
Keep your
fine.
love. Give me the stuff.
Minnesota was very, very nice. We get a lot more stuff to talk about.
Well, we didn't. So a teaser would be that you rode on the autonomous bus.
I rode in the autonomous.
Yeah, don't mess up. We're going to do the same intro for the next show. Wednesday's episode is exactly the same. Nothing has changed.
So I would like to just
Because Penn updated his computer, we didn't get to one.
Yeah, we didn't get to one of those
no,
things.
that's because I was updating my computer. What I'm going to do, just so you know, is I am going to don't leave yet. I'm going to do this final thing. Who do I want to send this to? I want to send it to. I'll send it to Godot. Godot.
Yes, sir.
I got to spell your name. Dou.
No one knows.
Godot will help. There's Michael Godot and Donnelly.
Mm-hmm. That's with a capital D.
Yeah, and then I'll send it to Reddy.
Right.
Reddy Rich. And I will do, I'll hit this little button down here, and I will phase it up to this, and then I'll get it all set to go, and then I'll just say, that was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School. And to our listening ears, all nature sang and round us rang the music of the sea.
Cha-cha-cha!
That was Penn Sunday School.
Oh, you can come naked. I got a talking unicorn, baby. But you guys get it. You're going to be so excited.
I got it.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Looks just like me, and it's a unicorn, and it's talking. Only $1,300, and I'm a talking unicorn.
Wow.
That was Penn Sunday School.
You know what that talking unicorn says to all of you? It says, I love you, you angel-headed hipsters.
Can you play it to a camera?
Oh, yeah. Where's this one?
Can you see it on the camera?
That's a little. No chance, right?
Those of you on the live stream, stick around. We're going to be doing another show in a few minutes.
You know, I was noticing with all the things you said about the new iPhone that rat feces wasn't one of them.
One more time, Matt? Can you do it one more time? Just for the live people.
I'm not your monkey. Yes, I can. Ready? This one?
That was Penn Sunday School. It's pretty great, isn't it?
Very impressive.
Let's go right away.
We need to reset files for a moment.
My computer's all updated, by the way.
Phew.
Isn't that talking unicorn pretty great?
It's really funny.
It's worth every penny.
Mm-hmm.
Are you rolling, Jared?
Are we gonna pee? Are we gonna take a pee break, or are we just gonna go? Uh-oh. I gotta pee.
I didn't talk about Halloween on this show, right?
I don't think so. No, you didn't.
We have a good rad power bike story.
Good.
Yeah.
So Foghat was this week.
How are they?
It's just the drummer.
Oh, yeah?
It's Ringo. The other guys are our age. And American.
What do you mean the other guy? The other guys in the band?
Yeah. And I guess it's been that way for 20, 30 years now.
But they're not young kids playing.
No.
Does
But
he
they're not Foghat.
Does he make no bones about it?
No, well, they don't say it the way that I did, but they introduce the band. And they know that it's about the drummer. He comes out in the middle of the set.
Oh, he doesn't come out in the beginning?
He does a drum fill, and he comes out from behind the kit
Oh.
and starts talking to people.
Is it a good show?
It's Foghat.
Foghat's a good name.
It's a good logo.
What is the logo?
It's their stylized name,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
but it's his symbols are all branded and everything.
Symbols are all what?
Branded with the logo.
Oh, really? Let's go.
This is Penn Sunday School.
Let's go.
And to our listening ears, all nature sings and round us rings the music of the spheres. This is Penn Sunday School.
Brothers and sisters, welcome to Penn Sunday School starring Penn Gillette. My name is Michael Goudot, and we are broadcasting from Show Creator Studios in Las Vegas. As so often happens, we didn't get to any of the promised topics on the Sunday episode, so Penn rode in the first self-driving shuttle and performed at the Critics' Choice Award and screwed up a card trick. And we're going to do a really good show this time. Here he is, preaching love. Mr. Duck Gillette.
Hi, you angel-headed hipsters. You know I love you. That's a nice duck call. It could be your character trait.
How did I not get a duck call to work for my first 3 attempts?
You know, it's
There.
that's the big sadness of Duck Dynasty.
Yeah.
Is there something wonderful and funny and beautiful about duck calls?
Oh, yeah.
And now there isn't.
Yeah.
Now duck calls are like racist idiots,
Yeah.
racist religious idiots.
Yeah.
Maybe, but that'll pass. The duck call will outlive Duck Dynasty.
That's true. That's true.
And even duck being a funny word, which is a wonderful word.
It's a great word.
It's a good
Ducks are-
bird.
Well, except they're mean.
Yeah.
We were fighting the other day, not me and a duck. But we're doing this new bit that's a version of an old bit we did called Misdirection, where we vanish a duck
Yeah.
and Teller was arguing for a chicken because Teller will be in a small space with the duck.
Yeah.
And he said ducks shit all the time and they're mean.
They are.
And I said, yeah, but it's funnier.
I bet there's some breeds of ducks that are friendlier. Someone could email us if they know a friendly breed of duck.
Friendly breed of duck. Write to questionpenn@gmail.com.
Someone's going to do it.
Yep.
We're going to get a good one. I used to have Muscovy ducks at my dad's house, and that was an unfriendly breed.
We used a Muscovy duck in one of the bits we did. A bit we did on Broadway called "By Buddha, This Duck Is Immortal." That was the name of the bit. By Buddha, this duck is immortal, and we used Muscovy ducks. And then we went on the road with it, right? And
Teach you to drive?
we did not want to tour with a duck, so we put in our rider. If you think brown M&Ms are bad, we put in our rider duck.
Right.
And the crew showed up, and they said, "Where's the duck?" And the crew person brought them down to the refrigerator, opened the door, and there in the refrigerator was a fully dressed duck. It was fully butchered, all set together. And they said, no, we need a live duck. And they said, oh, we just said duck. So we said, no, it says live duck. That duck in the refrigerator is not live. So I guess I shouldn't say this, but our crew said,
There's a good way to solve this, yes. I know what the answer to this is.
where's the nearest pond with ducks? And the crew guy told them. They said, drive us there. And they said, no, you can't touch those ducks. They go, drive us there. We were Penn and Teller crew. We do what needs to be done. So they grabbed the duck.
Yeah.
They captured
Duck
it.
napping.
And then that duck performed on stage for 3,000 people. And then that duck was freed back into the pond.
That's right. Kicked out of the back of a truck in a blindfold.
And that was, yeah.
Wow.
But ducks just have so much funny.
Yeah.
A name that rhymes with fuck.
Yeah.
A name that starts with D.
Yeah.
Two good things. Funny walk.
Mm-hmm.
Really funny walk.
Really funny walk.
Funny coloration in
Yeah.
many cases.
Yeah.
Right?
Lovely, yeah.
Really funny sound that they make.
Yeah. Quack.
Yeah. Ducks, really, for comedy.
There are some funny breeds, too. There are even funnier breeds. Have you seen the one that's like really tall, skinny duck?
No.
There's a tall, skinny duck. Really?
We haven't even gotten to the penises and vaginas.
No, because
That's really funny.
What do you mean?
Ducks have
funny physiology.
crazy physiology, like crazy path vaginas
Uh-huh.
that duck penises have to like figure out in order to procreate.
Oh, really?
And so that's why they keep like a certain, like their mating is strong. It's because they literally figure out how to get the penis and vagina to work together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So also smart.
Yeah. But weird penises and vaginas. Maybe I'm the only one who loves this fact.
Male Muscovy ducks, for example, have corkscrew-shaped penises that spring out from their bodies in less than half a second and are 20 centimeters long.
Boing.
Yeah. Boing, quack.
Boing.
Or maybe you ask first. So it would actually be.
Boing.
Actually, there has to be an acceptance first. That is proper.
Some
Now,
ducks...
Let us not. Let no listener think we don't advocate consensual sex between ducks.
We don't.
Some ducks have barbs on their penises to scrub away competing sperm. Do we have that noise?
Wait. Boing.
All right.
All right. I've run out of things to use as a Foley artist.
I knew the guy.
Oh, that wasn't even the good one. There we go.
Callback.
I met Larry Fine of the Three Stooges. I met his sister. Now, his sister was much younger than Larry Fine. I mean, like 25 years younger.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a fan of Penn and Teller. She lived in New Jersey, and she used to come to see the Penn and Teller show. Now, her husband was the guy who did sound effects for the Stooges when they were on the road.
Oh, wow.
He did eye pokes and boink and the broken strings and all that.
Yeah.
He had his whole setup over on one side of the stage. And while the Stooges worked, as he called them boys, as the boys worked, he did all their sound effects.
Oh.
And then was brother-in-law.
I mean,
to Larry
wouldn't you rather watch that than like Yo-Yo Ma? Like, wouldn't you want to, like, I wish
I
there was
don't
this-
want Yo-Yo Ma's cello, but this box of props I really want.
Oh, if I could get the setup and the cue sheet and the whole deal.
Yeah.
Oh,
I actually think that a comedy act,
yeah.
a three-person comedy act,
Yeah.
like Run, DMC, and Jam Master Jay, with Run DMC out front
Yeah.
and Jam Master Jay just with a bunch of acoustic,
Yeah.
not because every improv group,
Yeah.
you guys all have your computer guys.
Yeah.
All the morning radio guys had their computer guys loaded in to do stuff.
Yeah.
But doing it all live, the broken piano, boing, all of that, and your duck calls.
I would love it.
You know,
Fabulous.
when I worked in the Tropicana show at the Folies Bergère, they had a percussionist in the show. There it is. Thank you, Randy. When I was in the Follies, they had a percussionist in the show, and we would do our juggling show. And over time, he would add effects,
Yeah.
one a night. until the whole show was like a Yogi Bear episode. You'd walk out going dunk, 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 with every move of your leg, and we'd have to go up and yell at him. Every 2 weeks we'd go up and we'd go, please stop. Don't do that. Please don't do that. We're trying to make the show seem spontaneous, and if you have the sound effect preloaded, it doesn't seem that way. And he would go, okay. And then next night there'd be one.
Just sneaking
You'd
back
turn
in.
the unicycle around and go ratchet around. And it would build back up, and 2 weeks later we go yell at him again.
Well, I'm Teller's doing Tom Sony in the show.
Yeah,
now,
sure.
And, I'm
so
playing-
you're doing it.
I'm playing drums.
Oh, yeah.
So you get to know the routine.
Yeah.
Of course, with Teller, because he does nothing on the beat, because he does not know where one is.
Right.
He has no idea where the beat is. As far as I can tell, he has no sense where the beat is. So his stuff does come at odd times. You build up to something that's
Right.
really supposed to go 1, 2, 3, and it
Yeah.
goes 1, 2, 3. So that is a challenge to those of us who are trying to keep a rhythmic flow to that bit.
Okay.
But I have my cowbell,
How much of a
cowbell rim shot.
how much of a factor do you think the rhythm is to the success of Johnny's act?
Teller's gotten much better.
Yeah.
I'm actually talking a while ago. He's really, really worked on it.
Oh, okay.
And Georgie comes out and counts under her breath 5, 6, 7.
Oh, good.
And Jonesy and I hit hard on one. If you come see that, you just go, boy, this band really likes to land on one. Usually you're swinging with the backbeat.
Yeah.
You're hitting 2 and 4, but
Yeah.
we kind of hit 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4
Okay.
on stuff to help pull Teller into place.
Okay.
But I don't have many tools. I've held myself back. I have a cowbell, which I overuse,
Yeah.
and I have a rim shots,
Okay.
which I like.
Don't have the little ratchet thing.
I don't have a ratchet thing. I don't have a vibroslap or a flexitone. I don't have one of those.
You can now have a duck collar, though, if you want.
I don't have wind chimes.
No.
I have don't have tape.
No tape.
Nothing. But it is nice. It's nice to be a drummer and a variety actor. It
Yeah,
is.
sure.
But your guys get carried away, huh?
So nuts.
Yeah.
Like I said, like Yogi Bear, as you walked.
Some of them was using what, wood blocks for that?
Yeah.
Tuned wood blocks?
Wood blocks and bells and everything that he could think of.
And-
You'd wave to the audience and your wrist would creak. Come on, stop that.
Was he a good drummer?
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
They were great. It was a great band.
How big a band?
A dozen. It was big. It was pretty big.
Oh, when was this?
Back in the Follies, back in
Oh, yeah, that-
'83.
Real showbiz.
Real showbiz. Yeah, Joe Castro was the band leader and a bunch of guys up there, and it was just fantastic.
Yeah. Having that. I remember we did a few orchestra gigs. We did worked with the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, San Francisco Symphony Orchestra, and the Boston Pops. We did full evenings with them outdoors. Penn and Teller and the Boston Pops. Pretty amazing.
That's great.
And because of finances, the amount of rehearsal you get with them is very limited.
Of course.
Very limited. You get to kind of talk it down with them for 10 minutes. So you don't really hear it,
Yeah.
And what nobody realizes, at least I didn't realize, so that's nobody to me, is how loud a full orchestra is it. We did an opening bit, and that all the orchestra did was do ta-da at the end. It is incredible. It is Deep Purple. It is loud. I mean, we finished that bit, and I was supposed to be taking a bow, and I was going, Jesus Christ!
Hark, I hear the cannons roar.
Exactly. It was exactly that. And it was so wonderful and so loud and great. And we did 3 of those shows. We loved them. Also, when we did the Atlanta show, it was outdoors in the middle of the summer in Atlanta. And we were wearing our 3-piece suits and running around. And it was the only time I was wearing cowboy boots in the show then. I soaked through
Wow.
the cowboy boots.
The leather.
The ankles of the cowboy boots were wet on the outside. You could touch them and sweat would come through.
Wow.
And when I took my boot off, there was water,
in
you
them.
could pour out. Yeah. It was it was hot. It was something like 110 and humid, and I was on stage.
Yeah.
It was with hot lights on. It was pretty great. Getting the boots off were impossible.
Yeah, we were in an opera. We did Faust at the San Francisco Opera Company as fly-by-night jugglers. There were 4 of us as kids, and we were in this big scene where Faust makes the deal with the devil, and the scrim rises up. And rehearsals, you go through the rehearsals and stuff. It's at the Opera House, pretty cool. But the first moment that they're actually out there singing in full voice, and that curtain rises up, and the 3 balconies, and it's unbelievable, an unbelievable moment.
And you could feel the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just these 2 guys singing at the top of their lungs, and unbelievable.
The head of the
Great
San
moment.
Francisco, I probably shouldn't tell this, but who cares? The head of the San Francisco Orchestra, I forget who the conductor was at that time, but he told us that a few weeks before they'd done a fundraiser, and they did a piece of music, a rather modern piece of music that used a guitar, electric guitar, and an electric bass. So the Grateful Dead,
Right.
who were very, very, they're conscious, they're community conscious.
Yes, and they were locals.
Yeah. They said that they would come in and play the guitar part and the bass part. So it was going to be Bob Weir and Phil Lesh of the Grateful Dead were coming to play with the studio, with the orchestra.
Right.
And he said it was an amazing fundraiser because they did like 8 shows. Every one of them sold out months in advance with Deadheads at the full orchestra price to hear this piece. And then he said, there is a joke in rock and roll. How do you get a guitar player to turn down? Put a chart in front of him. He said, so here are Phil Lesh and Bob Weir, who are professional musicians their whole life,
Yeah.
higher paid than all of
the entire
everyone else
orchestra.
on stage.
Everybody else, more than everyone else on the stage.
Had made in their
Combined,
life,
yeah.
they make in a week.
Yeah.
Here they are doing this big favor for the orchestra. And he said they're sitting on stage over one side, and they've got their guitars in their laps and their amps behind them. And he said, I'm the conductor. Never once in rehearsal or in performance could I hear a note that they played. He said they were so nervous behind their charts
Oh, yeah.
and counting and reading the music, they just kept turning their amps down more and more and more. They couldn't be heard make a mistake. So he said we had thousands of Deadheads coming to the symphony orchestra to hear an orchestra and to see over in the corner, hidden, hunched over, Bob Weir and Phil Lesh. He said, boy, put a chart in front of a guitar player, he turns down fast.
I've heard the reverse of that. Todd Barry used to do it at Hunk in the 90s or something like that, but a while ago. But he'd said, like, yeah, I saw Guns N' Roses perform on MTV with an orchestra. It's the orchestra with the sheet music, huh? It's like I can just see the violin player, but like, really? G, then D, then G again? I better write this down. I better keep up with this.
Well, you know,
I'm going to use one string on the instrument.
all the 60s bands,
Yeah.
you know, even the 50s bands had those full orchestras
Yeah.
behind them. And you hear that River Deep, Mountain High stuff. And
Oh, yeah.
a lot of times, those guys are not being challenged.
Oh, sure. yeah. I think that is fair to say.
It's
for
not the
sure.
hardest thing they've ever played.
No.
So, Buddy Holly, on this you want pizzicato violin to sound a little bit like raindrops? Got it.
Ray Charles heard a violinist warming up and was like, keep that. That's going to the beginning of Georgia.
But it's wonderful. It's wonderful that Bob Weir and Phil Lesh
Yeah.
helped out the community. I mean, they kept the orchestra alive. You know.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's their whole year. Now there's a whole year of orchestra because they showed up, whatever it was, 4 nights or
Yeah.
something. And but it sure is nice doing a gig with a symphony orchestra.
Yeah.
We did great stuff where we blindfolded the entire orchestra. We had them all blindfolded, and we had the conductor blindfolded with headphones on, playing Bruce Springsteen. so that he couldn't hear, they couldn't see. Then we had the audience pick at random from like 50 pieces of music. And then they threw darts and did all this. And then when the audience never was said aloud, it was finally held up what they chose. And then I said, okay. I tapped the orchestra, the conductor. The conductor whipped off his headphones. The whole orchestra put their fingers up to their temples to concentrate. And he went, 1, 2. And they played the piece that had been predicted. It was called the Psychic Orchestra.
Oh, that's cool.
We also had them, they all stood up and did the National Magic Trick.
Oh, nice.
You know, look, our hands are empty. Look, a little red hanky. Yeah. And then we also did a straitjacket escape where we had to come in and play. I had to get out and play bass and Teller played keyboard. So we actually did do a thing where the full orchestra played, and then it went into Penn and Teller doing a duet on keyboard and bass. It was pretty scary.
That's pretty scary.
And we did that at the Hollywood Bowl with Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks, Steven Spielberg, John Williams, a bunch of other people. We did one little hunk. And I came out during the rehearsal with my bass all ready to go. And we did a quick rehearsal. And it was so amazing because I was playing my bass and one of the bass players, upright bass players, I was playing electric bass, ran out. I mean, during rehearsal, ran out and grabbed me and said, oh, yeah, your bass is tuned to 440. The orchestra's tuned to 444. We can't stand this. We don't know. Somebody tuned your bass backstage. They use an electronic tuner. We're not at 440. We're at 444. You are out of tune the exact wrong amount with the bass. We have got to fix this. And please let me tune your bass before the actual show. And he was trembling.
Wow.
I said, well, sounded okay to me. He said, I know.
Duh. Wow.
I know very well it sounded okay to you, Penn. And therein lies the problem.
Yeah.
So what else is coming up? Oh, we did self-driving car.
Yeah.
Now, we get asked to do things around town. As a matter of fact, there was a thing done in our office. Teller thought we were doing too many appearances. So Teller said to Glenn, you're not turning down anything. You're saying yes to everything. And it's too much work for us. He said, I want to know everything you turn down. And Glenn said, okay, I will CC you on everything I turn down. After a week, Teller said, okay, I get your point, stop. Glenn said, we turn down 5 to 10 things a day.
Yes.
He said, saying yes is a big deal. So, self-driving car, self-driving shuttle,
Free shuttle, yeah.
showing up Fremont Street. Glenn wrote to me and said, this is a pass. It's 9 a.m., does no good to your career. We're passing on this, but I know how you are about self-driving cars. I said, I don't care about Teller. I'm going to be there. I will be there. He said, well, it's 9 in the morning. I mean, you'll be picked up at 8.
Yeah.
You'll have gone to bed at 3. You'll be exhausted. It's a 2-block ride in a self-driving shuttle and then a small speech for industry people. There's no advantage to your career with it. I said, I'm going to be there. And Teller said, I'm going to be there too. We were so excited. So, you know this woman, Danica Patrick?
Yes.
You all know Danica
Yeah.
Patrick. I didn't know her name, but she's little.
Yes.
Yes.
She is the size of your thumb. And
I didn't know that.
she is. She's tiny, tiny. And the dressing area that we had was a Penn and Teller double-decker bus. So big, huge pictures of us and Danica going in. I met Danica. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And she said, you know anything about these self-driving? I said, I know a little bit. So I went into my don't worry about terrorism, don't worry about war, don't even really worry about gun violence in the USA. Worry about nothing but self-driving cars. Nothing. You want to save the most lives and the most suffering in the United States.
Yes.
It's important to say in the United States.
Yeah.
Self-driving cars. We need them. We need them instantly. And I then said, the operating system, they're operating essentially 2 laptops running in tandem. They're using laser, also using sonar.
Radar and sonar.
Sonar, laser, plus video. It's all being processed. It's all covered. They're entirely safer. I went on and on and on. And then she said, well, how soon are we going to get these, do you think? I said, really soon. The only thing holding us up is the government. And then Danica said, oh, I know what you mean. The government holds up everything. You know, they have cures for cancer.
Oh, geez.
We have a cure for cancer, but there's no money in that. There's no money in curing cancer, so we keep people sick so the government can make money.
You did pretty good, huh?
Long pause. And I said, so you drive NASCAR or Formula One? She said, I've driven them all. I really like them. And then I told her that I'd driven in a demolition derby.
Ooh,
And I said, we hit speeds up to 11 miles an hour. Crash into one another. And I did not win. And she said, so you get a big speed? I said, there's no, you go from a stop to a guy 4 feet from you in a clunker. How much speed
In
can
mud.
you get up? Yeah,
You're driving in dirt.
So I said, there's not a lot of, I said, but it's really fun. I really like driving the demo derby. And they were all out to get me, and they did. It was 20 years ago. And we talked a little bit. And then she said, well, I'm an Aries.
Oh, gosh.
And I said, so you're wearing Nomex still? But boy, does she know Kaz. She knows
Right.
her Kaz.
Yeah, yeah.
And we disagreed on that, although I didn't fight her very much because we agreed on self-driving cars. She said, I think I'll be retired by that. I said, well, you'll still have race car drivers.
Yeah.
But eventually there'll be self-driving racing, which will be really boss, because then we don't care if they blow up.
Right.
Yeah. Then we're loading them with dynamite before the start of the race.
Real self-driving, I mean, completely autonomous races would be great.
Yeah.
And who programs in the best algorithms would be wonderful. But I was pushing heavily for self-driving cars. And we got in this little shuttle. It goes 15 miles an hour.
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
Slower
It
than a rad power bike.
Has a speed up to 30 miles an hour, but they don't ever hit it. We had the guys there working it. They're already working in Paris, in Lyon, and some other city I don't care about. Maybe Phoenix. But they got them in Vegas, and you get on. There's a little touchpad. You tell it, and I guess like 10 people can fit on it. And it moves out into traffic and drives itself. It also doesn't have a front or a back. Doesn't turn around, doesn't care.
Right.
Doesn't care where the front or the back is. She said, does this mean it has steering and all 4 wheels? And the guy who was the expert there said yes. And they said, does it have to lock its back wheels to get speed? And he said, to get to 15? People that walked alongside it were not much later than we were. But it was just beautiful. And I was so excited. And the mayor was there.
Yeah, sure.
Carolyn Goodman.
Goodman, yeah.
I refer to the mayor as baby. Hey, baby, how you doing?
It's Vegas.
I like Carolyn Goodman a lot.
Nice. They're nice.
They're
folks.
wonderful.
Both of them are great.
Wonderful people. And she was talking about, and I actually asked to have a selfie with the mayor. I just actually took a selfie with Danica, although very hard to get me and Danica in the
Yes,
same shot.
your arm's not long enough for that. You got to shoot straight down, don't
I
you?
believe she's 5'0".
Yeah.
Yeah.
She put on big heels, and she was still 5'0".
She arrived via the end of the rainbow.
Yeah,
That's how she got to the.
She was. She's tiny and in perfect shape, and thinks very fast.
Yeah.
She could have jumped. If a car was going to hit the shuttle, she could have jumped into that car, taken it over, put it in a power glide, and gotten out of there. And she's also really nice and really wonderful.
Yeah.
And we were riding in the shuttle.
Well, all Aries are, Penn.
we were so excited. No, I'm misspeaking. Everyone else on the shuttle thought it was nice. I was jumping out of my skin. I kept saying, "It's self-driving. Look at it, self-driving. It's self-driving." And everybody else was going, "Yeah, that's why we're here, Penn." And I went, "Look at it, it's just going on its own." It moves out of traffic, and then the mayor said, "Oh, it's a red light." I said, "Oh, good." Nice and stop at the red light. Pedestrians go by, goes into green. We go there. I learned something very important about myself. It's really good that I don't care about any of these appearances that we do. So they just give me the bullet points and I just say them.
Right.
This one, I went on in my speech.
Yeah.
Including things that shouldn't be said, like, don't worry about terrorism. We need to care about self-driving cars. People with bombs are not a problem. Let's save the cars. Right? Okay. Shut up, Penn.
Yeah.
Then the person from the
The guy running the bus company is like, I don't need terrorism part of my thing.
AAA was there.
Danica was complaining those Sagittarius just talk too much.
And then Danica got to wave a green flag. And off it went. And then everything blew up on the internet.
Yeah.
Because the little shuttle had an accident.
Yeah. Somebody else hit it, right?
Yeah.
Yes. A truck was pulling out. It stopped for the truck. The truck pulled out and backed into it. And this gets presented as had an accident.
Told you it was bad.
I guess, people like Jonesy say, if I were driving, I would have thrown it in diverse and got out of the way. I don't think you would have. I think when a truck's pulling out, you stop, it pulls out, it goes away. Yeah. It doesn't back into you.
Yeah.
You honk.
Yeah.
That's what the difference would have been. Jonesy would have honked before he was hit.
Well, Jonesy, when he drives, he just leans on the horn.
Yeah.
Oh, Jonesy's coming. No way you can tell.
As far as he knows, that's the accelerator.
Yeah. But it would have honked. Maybe that's the big mistake that the shuttle made.
Yeah.
But it was so exciting. It was so great. And Danica said there'll still be places for people who want to drive. I said yes. Take those nuts who want to power a ton of steel fast around a track. Put them on a track where they spend $50,000 in insurance to drive one afternoon. Let them.
Yeah.
I'm happy as long as you don't cover their medical bills. As long as you don't cover their cars. Go and do it. Have a blast. Knock yourself out. I'm crazy for it. If we still want to see race car driving, go ahead.
Right.
But, what you're going to get, which is going to be like doping, is going to be, race car drivers who have a computer on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to jack it up. Yeah.
Yeah. They can.
Now, I've been pro this as well, and I've realized the bubble of Penn Sunday School provides which everywhere I go, and I talk about how in favor I am. Like, I do not want my kids to drive a car. I want them to have self-driving cars. People get very upset and uptight about it.
They are. They are really freaked out. People are what are you talking about? It's going to be so much better. No, not me.
I never thought
other drivers.
I never thought I'd feel like Tim Jennison with nuclear power.
Right.
But I do, because people are like, but what about this? Or what people compare it to that? And I'm always like, and I always say, like, how many people do you think are dying every day because of cars?
Yeah.
Because you're talking about it like it's zero.
Yeah. We're at close to 40,000 people a year dying.
Well, you want to hear the scariest thing?
Yeah.
My son passed he's got a driving permit.
See, now I'm really
a couple of days ago.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, Joey.
Well, I imagine he's
is
a
out
very
driving.
careful driver.
So far, he's very, very careful. I haven't driven with him. Grandma's taking him out. I was out of town this weekend, but he just got
Something
the permit.
keeps coming up, huh, Godot?
Exactly, yeah. And as soon as we're done here, I'm going to Mexico. So because my son is driving.
But people, and I said to Danica, she said, well, what if they have accidents? I said, there's X number of people killed in cars, traditional cars.
Yeah.
X number of people in traditional cars. If the number that is killed in autonomous cars is X minus 3, it's a worthwhile thing to do.
Yeah.
She said, but you've got to have everybody in an autonomous car. You can't have one person driving or they'll have an accident. And I go, no, the autonomous cars will be a little better. If you have one autonomous car, it's a little safer than if you have none autonomous cars.
Yeah.
And then they bring up the Tesla accident, which wasn't a self-driving car.
No.
It was
Right.
driver assist. I'm talking about no steering wheel, no nothing.
Well, apparently people are freaked out about the programming where rather than drive into a crowd of 40 people, it'll crash into a wall and kill you. And so your car could choose to kill you instead of hitting 40 other people. And when you're talking about other people, people go, well, yeah, that's good. I don't want them killing all those people. But if it's your car and you bought it, people seem to be upset about this.
Manufacturers are going to favor the buyers, not
Right.
the rest of the world.
Right. Well, that's the other thing.
also,
It won't matter.
it doesn't
It
come
won't.
up.
The numbers won't
Yeah,
happen.
it's-
How long have you been
zero.
driving, Matt?
I've been driving for 22 years.
How many times, just round it off
Yeah,
to,
go ahead.
to the nearest dozen.
Yeah.
How many times have you chosen to hit a busload of children to save
myself.
yourself? Yeah.
Hold on. There's a calculator.
I'm counting Jersey, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the thing. I'm just trying.
This week?
I'm just trying to bring up my calculator app. Oh, there it is. 0.
Yeah.
Zero.
Never, ever comes up.
Right.
And we're comparing that against 1.3 million deaths
Yeah.
worldwide.
Yeah, no, it's a ridiculous
There are
thing.
also people who talk about
that is the argument people present forward. I'm not.
or that
advocating
sophisticated carjackers are going to jump in front of a car knowing that it has to stop and then rob you because your car can't do evasive action through a criminal or something like that.
Yeah.
I've heard that argument.
Or they're going to hack the cars
Yeah, that's the other thing, which I think is really
and kill people that way.
fun.
Yes to all of those. Yes, every carjacker that wants to do that will do that.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll go into a wall instead of a school bus. And yes, they'll hack the cars and kill. Worst case scenario, we're way better off. Way better off.
Yeah, yeah.
Still
Right?
way better, yeah.
Yeah.
If the carjacker does that all the time.
Yeah.
Also, when the carjacker does that, they have video
Yeah, the camera.
from 15 angles.
Yeah.
They have that being sent instantly to the police.
Yeah.
The drone is right over there. That person is caught. So, yes, everyone that wants to do that can do that once. But it becomes robbing a casino. When you get all that money out there, what's to stop someone from just grabbing all the chips and running?
Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing stopping them from doing that. They will grab all the chips. They will run. They will get 12 feet. They will give all the chips back,
Yeah.
and they will go to prison.
Yeah.
You stand in front of a car, you go over, you rob the people. Nothing stopping you from doing that. Then you will go to prison, and they'll take all that money back from you. What's to stop them from stopping someone like that, opening the car and beating them up? The same thing that stops them from doing it on the street. You can go to a Starbucks right now and beat everyone up in the Starbucks. Nothing's stopping you. Nothing. You will then go to jail, and you're a bad person. You don't want to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Also, what if a squirrel that looks exactly like a fire hydrant moves slowly in the path of this car and it slams on the brakes too quickly? Exactly the same as a person driving, except it's better.
Yeah.
It'll stop quicker, it'll stop more efficiently, it'll stop great. What if it's standing still and a truck backs into it? Yeah. It'll get a scratch.
Wouldn't happen if we'd had an autonomous truck.
That's for sure.
The thing that I am curious about, I'm in
By the
total
way,
agreement with
it's
you.
not autonomous.
Yeah.
Because autonomous means it goes where it wants to go. I don't think it's going where it wants to go. It wants to just go in, plug into the electricity, and sit there quietly. It doesn't want to drive your tired ass to the airport. So it's not autonomous. It's essentially self-driving to our whim.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the benefits are going to be great because I don't think we'll own these cars. I think we'll be.
We absolutely won't.
We'll be sending $4,000 and you will use any of their models of cars that you want that day. You will not have a garage at your house.
And New York City,
Yeah.
no parking in New York City. All
No reason
those
for
streets
parking.
open up. And we don't know how much parking there is in the U.S.,
Yeah.
but it's at least the size of all of Rhode Island.
Right.
That totally opens up
No
to
traffic.
everybody. No traffic. And
No lights. No stop signs.
you get left off where you're going. Your car goes, it parks itself in a place you don't have to get out of, no sides. It plugs itself in, it gets electricity. which means many fewer cars on the road, many fewer cars, all electric. It's helping pollution tremendously, even if you have coal-fired plants. In Nevada, most of our power is hydro, so it becomes all clean energy. What is it? It's something ridiculous, like 20% of air pollution comes from cars. We can cut that down to 5. Boom, done. All this stuff happens.
And
Well, I don't know,
job-
Penn. I'm not a scientist.
And job work
Sorry,
safety.
just anytime people bring up environmental.
What are you saying,
effects.
Rich?
And job work safety. It's the number one, in terms of raw numbers, number one fatality
Cars?
is vehicular.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like the answer to distracted driving is to stop driving. I like that solution.
Yeah, I can't wait to sit and text the whole way home.
That's what I mean. Like the idea that we're going to stop being distracted drivers seems really. I don't have that faith in humanity.
Impossible. Impossible.
You know what I mean?
You
But
will
I have
be-
faith in this.
You will be driving this as carefully as you drive an elevator.
yeah, exactly.
So you can talk.
You'll be
text-
making out in the back.
A listener is pointing out that I've totaled 3 cars since I launched Ice Cream Social. That's absolutely true. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So are we.
Yeah.
What about like this is the only argument that I go like, oh shoot, it's not that I think this is a doomsday argument, but I'm curious. Like towns, especially small towns or whatever, make so much money off of speeding tickets and parking
Right.
tickets.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the only thing that I was just like, oh,
How sad for those people.
I think
Those
Vegas is one of those people.
Yeah.
I mean, what-
I'm so sorry
this
for those
town and DUI
motherfuckers.
specifically, I know it sounds terrible, but this town makes a lot of money off of
Yeah.
drunk driving
Yeah.
tickets.
How great will
Well, you
that
know,
be?
Google made a big mistake.
Yeah.
And they said that when their self-driving car hit, they would pay all the traffic tickets,
Ah.
which tells you exactly how many traffic tickets they're imagining getting. Yeah, there's a whole industry based on that.
Yeah.
You know? And not to mention, you know, the coal industry
Yeah.
lost 30,000 jobs,
Yeah.
and our election teetered on that with the way Trump dealt with it and the way Hillary dealt with it. And Hillary
Yeah.
just kind of said, sorry.
Yeah.
And Trump said, I'm going to bring coal back.
Right.
You know?
And he
bo-
has. And that's
bo-
why all those jobs are back.
Yeah, both lying.
Yeah.
Hillary wasn't sorry. When self-driving cars come in place,
Yeah.
what is it, 1.8 million truck drivers
Yeah.
lose their jobs?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, like this. And they've already driven a truck, what is it, 120 miles to deliver beer from loading dock to loading
Yeah.
dock. Never touched the controls, which means self-driving trucks are here. Self-driving truck will do the whole country.
And not even to be too magnanimous about it, that's bad news for us.
Right? People listen.
Yeah, podcasters listen a lot of times driving.
Yeah.
So
No, they're sitting in the car, so they might still listen.
that's what you're hoping, but now they have access to
Oh,
Netflix.
there's screens, and now you can
Hulu.
watch screens. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah. Like what I always said about why it's great to be a podcaster is that by getting into that type of media, I immediately stopped competing with Netflix and Hulu,
Right.
and now that won't be the case.
Well, that won't be the case.
Yeah.
But I mean, there
You're
might
gonna
be
have to dress nicer.
there might be cars that are taller as people be exercising during it.
That's absolutely
Oh,
no. That's
that'd be
true.
great.
You know, you might be able to get a car with a treadmill or at least a bike. Oh, how great would that be?
Just look like you're riding.
Ride to work in your car? How great is that? You're riding your bike like crazy? Just fabulous. I mean, all this stuff is nothing but good.
Yeah.
Nothing but good. And also the idea of just being left off somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, when they have a huge stadium show happening,
Yeah.
all these cars just be pulling up, dumping people out, and leaving.
And leaving, yeah.
And then no parking lot, no nothing. And just getting those parking lots gone will stop a huge amount of global warming.
Sure.
We all have loved when you're not paying, when your company's paying for your outing and you're ride sharing all over some other city. It's great.
Oh yeah.
It's so awesome. It feels
Nothing
great.
better.
Yeah, I know. And you sit in the back of limos. You
Yeah.
know, you can.
It's just like that. It's going to be just like everybody has a limo.
Everybody has a limo. Everybody has a limo going
There'll be
right there.
drinks to be. It'll be great for the alcohol industry.
And fabulous.
Drink and ride
Fabulous for the backpack industry. Because all those little things you have in your car.
Oh, yeah,
Your
sure.
comb, your glasses cleaner, all that, you're going to have with you. So you need like a lunch box.
Car bag.
I'm going to get into the
Car bag business now.
the stop locker. I'm going to start getting lockers for near people's works and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what all the stuff that you would keep in your car to go to work, you're going to want in lockers. Mm-hmm. Lockers will be back like the 70s. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, lockers.
I think go bag.
Well, of course you think go bag, and I think locker. That says a lot about us. You want to carry your stuff. I want to get out of the car and put my stuff somewhere and leave.
Yeah. It'll be, and also bikes. Bikes will be everything.
Yeah.
Because the danger goes away.
Right,
You
yeah,
won't be hit
sure.
by cars.
Oh, that'll be so nice.
All the roads are twice as wide.
Right.
I mean, New York City will have a full automobile-sized bike lane everywhere in New York City.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to really ride around. So bikes will be incrementally, just with self-driving. Because if there were self-driving cars in Vegas, I would ride a bike back and forth to work.
Yeah,
because
of course.
you could
You'd
get
feel
in,
safe. You'd relax.
you get in
enjoy
black.
it. Yeah.
Be in black with no lights on you.
Yeah.
Drive down, the sonar sees you.
And that's what you want to do anyway. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that just feels great.
Yeah, and you can be naked. Yeah.
Skid Vicious on the message board brings up the number one argument I hear, actually, that we haven't talked about.
What's that?
But I like driving.
Yes, and you can drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glenn Ally, long-suffering Glenn said this. I want to spit in his face. But I like driving, sure. Go to a little Tonka toy village and go drive a Model T, drive a Rolls Royce.
You can drive a simulator while you're riding in the car. And you could be driving like a racetrack.
We'll give you that seat that we had for our children with
Yeah.
a little steering wheel and the horn.
Exactly.
Honk, honk, honk. And you can sit there and look out the window and pretend you're driving. As a matter of fact,
Little Maggie Simpson will all be.
we'll even give you we'll tie it in with some wiggle rooms. When you turn the steering wheel, it wiggles a little bit. And you can say go faster, and it goes faster and slower. But it won't, you can do all that. But I think there'll actually be really complex tracks
Yeah.
Right.
that you go on
Yeah,
and drive, drive with Danica.
you can do it now. You can do that
You can.
now.
You go to the Vegas Speedway right now and rent the top of the line vehicles. You can drive a Ferrari and all that
Oh,
stuff.
can you?
Yeah, right now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to.
Go. Get out of here. Go.
Actually, I'm flying over to England.
Yes.
This is Glenn's tearing his hair out now, but I'm doing the Top Gear. There's another one.
Yeah,
called,
sure.
Yeah.
There's another one called Road something that the guy's on.
Road rage? No, I don't know.
No, the guy that quit, the big popular guy,
Yeah.
big tall guy. He quit or got fired from Top Gear and went over to another show. I'm doing that show in England.
Oh.
I'm doing another celebrity in a reasonably priced car. Stamps saves you time and money, which you can use to grow your business. I can mail any letter, any package using just my computer and printer, and the mail carrier comes and picks it up. You like that, don't you?
Love it.
Have you done it since your one story of your crush on the mail carrier?
I haven't, but that still lives on in my heart. Only because Jacob handles most of the mail. So Jacob does it. So he loves it.
I'm sure Laura has a crush on our mail carrier.
Yeah.
Avoid the hassle of the post office and mail everything from postcards to envelopes to packages, domestic or international. Create your Stamps account in minutes online with no equipment to lease and no long-term commitments. Click, print, mail, and you're done. Unlike the post office, Stamps.com never closes. Print postage for letters or packages at your convenience 24/7. Convenient, easy, reliable, flexible. Stamps.com brings all the service of the U.S. Post Service right to your fingertips. Buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter, any package, any class of mail using your own computer and printer. I use Stamps.com because it's the only way to do it. Who wants to go to the stinky post office? Not me. Even in a self-driving car, I don't want to go to the stinky post office. Right now, you too can enjoy the Stamps.com service with a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus postage and a digital scale without long-term commitments. Yay. Go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in
Penn.
That's Stamps.com. Enter
Penn.
Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. Just
Never.
don't bother.
The show you're on is Grand Tour, is the show you're doing.
Grand Tour. I'm going to go
British
over.
motoring television series for Amazon Video presented by Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James
I'm going to
May.
go draw. And I think this is really funny. They're doing something they've never done before, which is Teller will ride in a reasonably priced car. I am going to go as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And Teller's just going to be strapped in the passenger seat. They've never had a passenger. So Teller will be the passenger on this.
Of the car you drive or the
Yeah,
other
the car I
car?
drive. The car I drive.
Oh, man.
And I believe we're on with Dynamo.
Oh.
People in England love, and Teller loves Dynamo. He hangs out with, whenever we're in England, he spends all his time with Dynamo.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
They go to social clubs and go over there and talk magic.
Oh,
I go out with Charlie Booker and talk good stuff.
yeah.
Rad Power Bikes, a consumer direct electric bike company producing 4 unique models of electric bikes. Because Rad Power Bikes, a consumer direct brand, buyers get a premium electric bike without paying the huge markups caused by dealers and third-party retailers, priced at often less than half the price of comparable bikes on the market because dealer retail markups are cut out. Founded by 3 friends who couldn't find a performance electric bike that didn't have an absurd price tag. Started building electric bikes in 2007. You enjoying yours, Goodo?
Oh, man, it saved us.
Sorry, let me ask this again. You enjoying mine, Goodo?
Yes, I'm enjoying yours, and I dread the day you ask for it back.
We all are enjoying
We
yours.
are enjoying it. A week ago, Matt and I were about to record a podcast, and my wife had taken all of the car keys to work with her. And I jumped on the Rad Power Bike and raced down to the podcast. We managed to get it done. 10 miles away. Boom.
How much assist did you use?
All of it. I was late. I put it on full assist and raced as fast as I could.
You were still pedaling.
Still pedaling, still
What
riding.
kind of speed were you hitting?
Like 25, 26.
Pretty good.
Pretty fast.
He let us use it afterwards. So
Yeah,
Jacob
Matt
and I
took it
took
out
a
and
ride
rode
of
it
the
for
Rad
the first
Power
time.
Bikes.
They're the greatest thing in the world.
It's crazy, yeah. So the ride assist thing, you can just pedal, and you just go 15, 20 miles an hour uphill, and you really do feel like you're pedaling.
Yep.
You just feel like you have a superpower.
Yeah.
You're strong, yeah.
I'm
it's
just really
really-
strong.
At
yeah.
750 watts of power going faster miles an hour, all 4 models are the most powerful motor an e-bike can have while still maintaining a street-legal, Dylan album, status. No license required. Ride it anywhere you can ride a bicycle. All 4 models can reach 20 miles per hour with 0 pedaling. All 4 models give riders the choice to ride pedal-free with a throttle, utilize 5 levels of pedal assist for an added boost, or a combination of the two. Riders can travel between 20 and 40 miles in a single charge. Go to radpowerbikes.com and use code
Penn.
to receive $75 off accessories when you purchase any electric bike. Radpowerbikes.com.
Penn.
You got that right. This is my wife today. We're recording this on Sunday. My wife is running the 10K today.
Yeah.
She's been training for months. She got a little book on what she trained. I'm doing power intervals today.
Yeah.
She runs, and she's got a little headband that says Vegas Strong.
Oh.
And I'm going to go welcome her there at the finish line.
Okay.
Nice.
So it'll be a nice run today. She's it's wonderful. She's really into it. She's having a great time.
That's fantastic.
Doing that. And the biggest news, and I was going to read this, but I guess I'm not going to because we're coming to the close. The new Bob Dylan record is out. It's called Trouble No More. It's the bootleg series from 1979 to 1981, which is Dylan's gospel period. If you buy the 8 CD deluxe package, you get a beautiful 8 CD package with a incredible book with my liner notes. Yeah.
Nice.
My liner notes.
You wrote the liner
says,
notes.
It says, you open the book, there's a big picture of Bob, you open it again, and it says, "In the time of my confession," by Penn. I'm going to choke up and cry.
Yeah.
And then there is a long essay. I believe it's like 3,000-word essay. And there are pull quotes with pictures of Dylan next to them. It is a beautifully designed book full of pictures, and I wrote the words. It's my jokes. I mean, really my jokes. It's my style, and it is brutally honest. The first lines of it are, "As a lifelong atheist and a lifelong Dylan fan, you can imagine 1979 was tough for me." And it goes on. And big jokes. Big jokes.
Yeah.
Not like understated Dylan kind of jokes, but big jokes. And I really do pour my heart out. I got it, and I read it. I wanted to read it in the Dylan book. And I read it and said, boy, this is raw and emotional. You knew when I was writing it.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
I worked on it for months.
Yes.
I listened to that Dylan stuff inside out. The music, it is clearly Dylan's best singing and it's Dylan's best bands.
Yeah.
It's called Bob Dylan, the Bootleg Series number, I don't know, whatever it is, 15, 13. Trouble No More.
Yeah.
And you should buy the deluxe kit with me in it. And by the way, liner notes are a category in the Grammys.
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
So if you are a Grammy voter,
Yeah.
please keep in mind that I wrote some really nice liner notes.
I mean, you were. I should say that you were thrilled to write these.
Of course.
Out
You
of
were-
my mind.
You were thrilled to get the call. Then when they told you what time period you were going to write about, you laughed and knew instantly that it was his Christian period. Mm-hmm. But
They said 79, and I went, oh. And then I said to the guy who was asking me, I said, you know I'm an atheist. And he wrote back, Penn, everyone knows you're an atheist.
Well, also, Dylan chose you to write this.
We don't
for
know.
This.
We don't know
Jeff
that.
Rosen,
I know that,
maybe
but-
somebody.
We don't know. Sony. My whole deal is with Sony.
Yeah.
Sony's the one putting the package together. They hire people.
That some guy at Sony
I
said, "Let's
would-
get an atheist to write this thing."
I would
Yeah,
like.
exactly. Yeah.
I would like to
Who
think.
made this plan?
I would like to think
Yes.
that it wouldn't be in the package if Bob Dylan didn't like it
Right.
and if Jeff Rosen didn't approve. But that's all I know.
Yeah.
Bob did not call me and ask me to write the liner notes. Jeff Rosen did not call me and ask me to write the liner notes. It all came through, shadow.
Well, I'll also say like,
But I do think it's pretty safe that if they hated it, it wouldn't be in there.
totally. And you're also a good writer. And I think what's funny is that it went down exactly as other people would think it went down. You presented the initial offer jokingly, as if it was like a devil's bargain. Penn, you get to write about Dylan, but only as Christian face.
Yeah.
Right. And then a week later, you're like, guys, I think I might be Christian.
The music. The song, I'll tell you, there's a song by Bob Dylan, and you can find it on the cassette. It's also on the sampler on iTunes, and it's up on YouTube. There's a song called Ain't Gonna Go to Hell for Anybody. I ain't gonna go to hell for anybody. And I was listening to this just as Trump was really getting going, and the summer, early summer, spring. He'd only been in office a couple months, 3 months, and I was reading my personal. I stress this. I don't have a public, but my personal Facebook page, and my friends on the left were apoplectic, and they were talking nothing but hate and violence. They were saying everyone who voted for him is a racist. Everyone that voted for him must be stopped. I have very few friends on the right, and none of them are Trump supporters. But some people were saying, he actually spoke to disenfranchised people. And crazy stuff was going on. And I would read this stuff and get very, very upset. I mean, really upset. It was ripping me apart. And then I would put on Dylan, I ain't gonna go to hell for anybody. And the peace that Dylan was feeling in his gospel period, his Christian period, the kind of quiet, gentle acceptance of the world and not answering hate with hate, I found so inspiring and such solace. And I will send this out as not a challenge, as a suggestion. If you are a hardcore atheist, I don't think you can get more hardcore than me, try listening, really listening to Bob Dylan's Ain't Gonna Go to Hell for Anybody. Listen to it, let it flow over you. And I don't think you'll become Christian. I don't think you'll believe in God. But you will find there, I believe, some solace and some wisdom that's deep and powerful. And, you got to serve somebody. Stupid song. And when it came out on Slow Train, just stupid. When you listen to these live performances of it, it's amazing. Dylan comes together with the backup singers, and his "I Believe in You," his song about Christ, but could be about anything. Him alone on the piano. We should have all known in 1980 that Bob Dylan could sing the Sinatra stuff. It is among the best vocals you will ever hear. The vocals are breathtaking. The passion, the clarity. It might be Dylan at his best. You know, Trouble No More, Bob Dylan, the Bootleg Series, 1979, 1981. It's pretty great. I've also finished this book on Celine Dion that I want to talk about extensively, because I'm going to go see Celine. Maybe I'll wait till I do that. And we've been doing all these Vegas benefits. Besides giving platelets all the time, we showed up on a Vegas Strong thing, saw Lance Burton.
Sure.
Guess what he did? Guess what trick he did?
The
You know.
sucker silk to egg.
Yeah. That's what
I just
Lance
couldn't remember the
did.
title of
He's
it.
just pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because Pia Zadora was backstage, Rich Little, the Blue Man Group, everybody who performs in Vegas was backstage. And, you know, Katz, who we had on the
Yeah,
show.
sure. John.
Yeah, John, who's the gossip columnist in town, or the entertainment writer, I guess.
He would say entertainment writer.
Yeah, all these people are sitting around. And all of a sudden, I feel in our dressing room a presence. And there is Katz laughing in the doorway. And he's laughing in the doorway because he has gotten another picture, I believe it's his third, of Penn and Teller backstage waiting to go on. And it's two men with their phones in front of them, sitting perpendicular to one another. So no chance of talking to one another. No conversation, nothing, just reading. And I want to stress this. We aren't texting, okay?
Yeah.
We're not talking on our phones. We're not on Facebook. We're not on Twitter. We're not documenting the experience. We are reading. And Katz said, I'm going to make a collection of these. He said, everybody's out in the hallway talking about going on. You're over here. And he said, Penn, tell me, what are you reading about? I said, you know, he said, what are you doing on your phone? I said, you don't want to know. He said, you texting? I said, no. He said, you got the new phone. You playing with that? I said, no. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm reading about the differences in how bats in different caves communicate with one another, and the different accents and dialogues that their chirps have evolved into.
My kind of reading. That's
And
what
he
I
said-
love.
I love that article too.
I said, I've been reading this, you know, for the past 5 minutes when you were taking pictures of me. That's what I'm studying. He said, what are you going to do on stage? I said, we already know what we're going to do. The bit's all memorized. He goes, who's on stage now? I said, I think it's Clint Holmes, and it's wonderful. He's singing Hallelujah, which I believe is one of the least appropriate songs you could sing after a shooting. I don't know how people think this Leonard Cohen bit is supposed to be uplifting. It is the definition of melancholy.
Yes.
And I went out and gave my introduction, which I came out. Everybody was singing about all we need is love and Vegas is strong and everything else. I came out and said the great Mr. Rogers said that children in scary times should look for the helpers. We had one bad guy in Vegas do really bad things, and we got hundreds of millions of helpers. This is dedicated to y'all. Then we did our little trick. And then the Imagine...
Wait.
What's that?
Nice.
What was Teller reading?
I didn't bother to ask him.
I just thought maybe Katz asked and he answered. No.
Teller just kept reading. He wouldn't
All right, go ahead.
and we are also doing the big stadium show with the Imagine Dragons and the Killers. The Imagine Dragons decided to do a benefit. And so we get to play. It'll be really nice. We'll be playing for like 25,000 people.
Wow.
Imagine Dragons, Killers, Penn and Teller. And we're looking forward to that. I mean, not only because we get to help a very good cause,
Right.
but also it'd be nice to be on stage. And it's also a nice feeling, you know what I mean? Because I like being old Vegas. You know,
Right.
there was a time when, you know, in the 80s, when maybe Guns N' Roses could come to town and say they're bringing out Wayne Newton, you know.
Right.
And it's kind of a joke. The old guy is coming on to do a show with them. But it's also like respectful. And I like that I'm now in that category. I like that now Imagine Dragons and the Killers say, what old guard can we bring in? Oh, let's bring in the old guys. Let's bring in Penn and Teller. And we're doing a big bit with the inflatables. We're going to do that on stage with the giant mascots of us. And I think it'll look really, really nice. The Imagine Dragons are good buddies with my wife.
Okay.
She hangs out with them a lot, and they do a lot of charity stuff together. So she's always on the phone with the manager and the lead singer of the Imagine Dragons. And the lead singer of the Imagine Dragons, his brother is the manager of the Imagine Dragons, and their brother is the manager of the Killers. So this whole thing is one family.
Wow.
Yeah, that's helping out here.
Okay.
And so they gave a call right away. They didn't even go through Glenn or anything. They just called my wife and said, "You want?"
So if you're in a band in Vegas thinking you might be part of the Vegas music scene, if you don't know these people, you're making a huge mistake.
Huge mistake.
Yeah.
Huge mistake. And I think I should close this up. I don't want to go too long here, but I do want to close it up by saying I hosted the Critics' Choice Film Awards for the second year in a row, and I mean it was heavy duty. I mean, all the big players were there. I mean, it was a big deal. If you made documentary films, Errol Morris was there. I mean, it was everybody. And also the guy, man, was this amazing meeting him. And isn't it awful? I can't remember his name. But the guy from the Memphis 3, the guy who was doing on death row for the Satanist killings.
Yeah.
Was that?
Eccles.
Eccles, yeah.
Right.
I got to meet Eccles. And I said to him, you want to know what a hero sounds like? So we're backstage in the wings. It's actually not the wings. It's over. It's a dining room, so it's over the side. And I'm standing there with Eccles. What's Damien Eccles, right? I'm standing with Damien, and Damien has this incredible grace and poise, right? And he did whatever it was, 17 years in prison, on death row, for a crime that he was 100% innocent of. And it was a documentary film that, I mean, you can just say that got him off.
Yeah.
Without the docs, he would not have been on.
Sure.
And this is what I mean. He stands back there. There's a kind of regal strength. I think that people get when they're in prison innocently.
Right.
You know, it's just it's a different feeling. There's a vibe that comes off him. I've met a few of these people, and there's a vibe that comes off him or there's a vibe that you project upon them. I don't even know which it is. And he's standing back there, and I go, really nice to meet you. I'm really sorry for the way you got famous.
Yeah, nice.
And he laughed. He went, well, could have been worse. I went, what? What? Are you really saying could have been worse? What? Could have been what? And he went, yeah, it could have been. A lot of worse stuff happens to other people than happened to me.
Oh.
Nice.
You just go, oh, okay, so I'm not fit to live. Everybody needs to be. Why isn't he president? Why isn't he
Yeah,
president?
exactly.
Damien Eccles, what a wonderful, wonderful man. And I saw Fisher Stevens, talk to him about self-driving electric cars. Told him he should put his focus on that instead of the Cove. We had a nice talk. And I was looking up people online that I was going to be introducing. I found out what Fisher Stevens' real name is. Do you know what Fisher Stevens' real name is? Do you know?
No, I was thought it was
You
Fisher
know?
Stevens.
It's not.
Nope.
Oh, he has the greatest real name ever.
Oh, Herbert Humphreys.
Hubert.
Fisher Stevens' birth name is Stephen Fisher.
Oh,
Isn't that great?
yes.
Isn't that great, Donnelly Matt?
Donnelly Matthew would be good. Or
Donnelly Matthews is a fine name.
Donnelly Matthew or Donnelly Matthews would be a good name.
Godot Michaels?
No.
It's just you act like he has two names.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah.
You spell it
But
backwards.
I met him, and I also this time decided to go out and start with a card trick. As you know, last year I went out, I started with a card trick, and it failed. In rehearsal, it was perfect.
Right.
I got on stage. I was unable to do the trick. I started the whole show with a card trick that was iffy, and I failed. Started the whole show with a failure, a failed card trick. This year, I went out and said, every year at the Critics' Choice Documentary Awards, the whole show was started with a card trick. Every single year, I'd like to continue that tradition. Of course, it was the second year, and I was the host last year, too. I said, I'd like to continue that with a card trick. I got a guy from the audience, did a trick. It didn't work. Started the second Critics' Choice Award with a abject, absolute failure. I also saw Gilbert Gottfried's movie, Gilbert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is wonderful.
I've heard it's really great.
Really wonderful. The only thing, there's a few things I'll say about it. One is, it's just the movie The Aristocrats done again.
Okay.
But that's my point of view. Uses actually footage from The Aristocrats.
Yeah.
And second, you see this movie about this nut, this crazy, crazy, crazy person, and how he has found this beautiful life with his wife and family, but how crazy he is. And I will say, knowing Gilbert very, very well, knowing Gilbert since before he met his wife, Dara, before he had a family,
Yeah.
and knowing him very well now, you will watch this movie, your jaw will drop at how crazy he is. He's crazier. They are toning it down so much. And when you watch the movie and go, they're not toning it down. This is brutal. Oh, no.
Yeah.
He's much worse. He's much, much worse. So that's what's coming up. We got a lot of cool things coming up. I want to read those Dylan liner notes at some point. I want to talk to Lawrence O'Donnell about his new book.
Yeah.
We may have Woody on, a great magician that invented a trick for Penn and Teller. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. But for right now, that was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
Cha-cha-cha.
And to our listening ears,
You become naked.
nature sang and round us rang the music of the spheres.
Consider this a loud, joyous scream, which I'm afraid to do because I've had some congestion and I have a show tonight and I'm also going outdoors to cheer on my wife. My wife, incidentally, Emily Gillette, the winner of the 10K in Vegas.
Shut up.
Yes, absolutely. I can say it. It's not true. You know I love you all.
How'd you fall for that?
I just was like, I don't know. I was like, she's been very dedicated to this program.
And she will be the winner, but not this year.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Show titles.
I tum.